What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Loophole Podcast. I'm your host, Loopie. The hosts are away because this is a special episode. We got the homie TripDup in this bitch.
What up? What up? Doing all good.
So, first off, how you doing?
Doing excellent. Sunny outside, hoodie weather. Got my coffee on the Loophole Podcast, talking about a new EP.
Got coffee
Doesn't
too.
get any better than that. Cheers. Oh, I got something for you, actually.
Oh shit!
Now that I got a little trinket, a token for our announcement today. 1 second.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah. I got the Loopie beaker.
The Loopie beaker, yo.
Loopie beaker for the mad scientist. Purple
Man.
Haze, shout out to her. The wifey got me this, and souvenir of our project going. So I was glad I can have it ready for the pod. But I have little trinkets in the studio, and this symbolizes this project.
You know what's missing in this? Some like minty liqueur mixed with vodka and shit.
I'm telling you, I was about to put some Powerade in it and drink it on stream, and I was like, oh, I don't want to get sticky. And then I was going to put my coffee, and I was like, no, that's brown. That's probably won't look too good.
Yeah, it's going to look like you sampled fecal matter.
I know. I'm saying this right. And I was trying to find like some green Gatorade for, to match the cover, but yeah. I'm just glad I had it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna show Loopie that tomorrow. I'm pretty stoked about this little cool piece. I don't know where she got it either, but it's perfect.
Hey, I appreciate the kind gesture right here. So,
yes, sir.
To give the new viewers, because it has been a long time, a little bit of history. TripDup is a very long time friend and music collaborator of mine. We've been rocking with each other since 2019, since the start of the main Loopie channel that is now the center of I guess everything I've done, and he's been a huge part of this growth, and I hope that I was at least some part in his growth as an artist as well.
Crucial.
The last episode that TripDup has appeared on was episode 18, and now this is episode 207. So gives a little bit of perspective in this. Yeah, a lot of things happen in that.
Congratulations. Going hard, man. You put your mind to it. I've been watching you in the last 5 years, our collaborations, your podcast. You got that work ethic, man. And, like when we first linked up years ago, dude, you taught me a lot of what I know about this online stuff. Really, like I picked your. You said, pick your brain and like just yeah. You definitely tied my shoes with a lot of this, like Discord. Shoot, I wouldn't know about Discord if it wasn't for you, man.
Yeah, Discord it's a useful tool. I could probably send you like a link or two that because the artist Alphabite. I was thinking of like sending him like some of our music. Because I've been getting him to react to some of our stuff. I'll get Gatsby on this stuff as well. I could send you a few links to communities, and you could network with people. There's
yeah, actually.
Sorry,
I was just gonna say I know Alphabite. Yeah, he was. We connected earlier on too, and I do see that he's doing music reactions lately, right? Also.
Yeah, he does these live streams, and like he's been going like heavy on them. He honestly like came back not even too long ago, and then he's just been continuing on with it because he's been getting a lot of support from people. And he like I didn't actually realize how much I like love this dude because he's me and him like weren't too close. We were like acquaintances, not really like the buddies. But then we like I got him on the pod a couple weeks ago, and then we spoke about a few things. We spoke about life. I come to his streams a lot, and I learned about him as a human being, and really love the dude he's become. You know what I mean? And he provides a lot of good feedback. Shout out to Alphabite. But I think our music, like you and my stuff, I'll definitely send over to him. But
of course.
yeah, Discord as a community, it's great. It's a useful tool. But
Yeah. Shout out to Alphabite though, like just real quick. He's always been good, like respectable, and he's a good dude. Like any interaction I've ever had with him, yeah, man. I have no complaints. I've just kind of uh when we first started out, excuse me, me and him were talking a lot, and he was gonna connect me with one of these producers he had, and now just starting out things didn't work out with that. But I think Smitty or something. Shout out Smitty. But
mm,
yeah, Alpha Byte, he helped me out in some posts, and he was kind of I'll give him his props too. He was teaching me a lot about how Twitter worked in the early days too. I think he
yeah,
got me one of my first tweets, got like 10 likes because he reposted it or something. And I shouted, I'm like, yo, I never got that many. And he's like, welcome to Twitter, bro, or whatever it was. But cool dude. Cool dude.
yeah. Um, yeah, man, we just sending our roses. But dude, I gotta say, I kind of miss how close the community was at certain points. Um, Now things are a lot more scattered around. It's no longer the same people, or if it is the same people, they're not always acting the way they were acting. A lot
Right
of
there it is.
a
Yep.
lot of their bad side comes out and things like that. But beyond that, what is really important, I guess, in this community is that we're able to still prosper past that, still get some of the same vibe going, and the Loopie and TripDup duo is definitely no different in this YouTube space. Uh,
Sir.
which is why we have finally started working together on a project. And I'm very happy to announce with the homie TripDup that we are working on. Well, no, we're not working on. We got it sent to stores. We got it published. All there is left to do is just wait. A brand new 5-song EP as a duo, uh,
Let's
which is
go.
absolutely incredible to think about. And somehow, in the 6 years that this guy's been making, well, I don't know how long you've been making music, but I've known you for the last 6 years. Um,
Long time. Publicly 6 years, but as long as I've been in the public eye and doing these socials, you've known me that long. You've known me from the get, bro. Like I think I was online maybe 2 or 3 months before we all like linked up on Twitter for that cipher we were gonna run or something.
oh my God, we yeah
But
we
how we met and yeah.
I want to talk about that later. We're gonna derail into so many different like conversations, but it's
I,
true that like the fucking ciphers were a fucking nightmare. We almost got into like two
dude,
or three ciphers, and every time it's always been a nightmare.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but no, like wait, no, like how long have you been like making music, like rapping? Has it actually been 6 years or a bit more?
Oh man, dude, I shoot. I mean, I first started. You know, I recorded. I recorded my first song in an actual studio when I was 17 years old.
Shit,
Um,
that's a long time.
yeah, and a group of friends of mine that we grew up with. I was the musically inclined one, trying to push the homies. Hey man, let's forget about this street stuff and what we usually be doing on the weekends. Let's work. Let's make some music. One day I want to have a studio in the house, and they're like, yeah, okay. So I started writing their rhymes and um, just kind of slowly building a studio in the house, and realized, damn, this studio isn't. We had modems, 56K modems, like
Ah,
dial up. Let's see, CD burners. Um, Man, I think my DAW at the time was like 4 track. Like it was, yeah. And so we realized, hey, we need to pay for some studio time. So linked up with Studio C out in Las Vegas, made a little road trip out there. I think we paid like $50 an hour.
hmm.
So 5 of us linked up, each put in like $50, got enough to record the single. I think it came to like 5 or 6 hours mixing everything. But yeah, it was actually that song Time's Turning Point, which full circle, this is crazy. I bring it up on this new what up with that? This is the
Yeah.
turning point, and
Well, I
we
thought.
also know there's been other world events that's kind of tied in
Yeah,
there. That's
yeah.
ironically the
That,
timing is yeah. And as you know, we've been working on this song for a minute. I have a song out on YouTube called Times Turning Point.
mm,
And it's more of it was an Easter project. It was more of a Christian rap song,
yeah.
which that's, the reference to Turning Point. And but so we recorded that single. I and like I was telling you, what's crazy is on Chess, you actually say, with no shame, I got tripped up by my side. And I
We're in
think you
the
say
Hall
something
of
like, you're gonna
Fame.
do a triple double. We're in the Hall of Fame doing triple double. Okay. So on that part, I think I told you on DM how ironic that was, that was actually the name of my first group, was No Shame. As a matter of fact, this
What?
was the label I was this was the label I was starting back in high school. And if you see it, I don't know if you can see it, but it's an
No shame.
anagram, supposed to be like a top of a vinyl.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, so for you to bring that up with not even knowing was perfect, bro. And shout out to the brothers, shout out to the boys of No Shame. We got David, we got Sam, my boy Judah, Shorty, CNV. You saw a track that I reposted of hers, CNV. Hypnotized. She was the first female vocalist slash rapper, lyricist in that group. She's still making music today. But yeah, this goes back to when I was in high school. But then, get married, have kids and life, and you start working to live and provide. Music
Yeah.
kind of takes a back seat. But then, as the kids get older and things get more financially stable, I got back into this music thing and started taking it more seriously on a more um, tripped up level than an industry level or a behind the scenes level.
Yeah.
Let me get in the scene. You know, so yeah,
Well,
that's the history of that. So that's cool.
well, you dropped your first single to the TripDup channel on November 12th, 2019, which is absolutely crazy to think about. Okay, you started your YouTube channel in 2013, but it must have been like probably like Write Comments or some shit. But
Oh
um,
yeah, it was just to have a channel.
yeah, dude, I remember Vivid Dreams. I've been in a vivid. Oh, dude, if you wanna ride, like, oh, come on, man, like, I
Let's ride.
I remember this.
Yeah,
Yeah, this that dope. You
that's
got
a banger, bro.
yeah.
That's a
No,
banger. I love that
but
song.
to
If I could
to
clear the beat on that, I would have loaded it up to, all platforms, but
to think
couldn't clear the
that
beat.
to think that you have not dropped a single EP or an album or anything of that sort in all of this time, and I never even thought about it like that, is crazy to even conceive. So the fact that you and me were finally now dropping an album, or sorry, an EP, 5 songs. I forgot to even name the whole thing or even say the release date, but we're dropping Method to the Madness, the EP. Officially drops on all platforms under TripDup and Loopie on October 24th, 2025. And I'm happy to announce that
Exciting.
we got the resave link available. You can now pre-order to on any platforms, or you can pre-order on Spotify, and you'll have it in your library on the moment of release. Listeners time zone October 24th. So I get to listen to this. I get to listen to this EP on Spotify like about 7 or 8 hours before you. So
Hey, it's a treat. This is a fun one, guys, and I'm really happy with this project. Really excited, and just the elements came together, and you can't wait. You guys are in for a treat.
yeah, man.
Sure.
Um, yeah. So the track list will be posted on all of the platforms that will promote on and stuff like that. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I'll make a YouTube video if I can. It's really a timing thing, but to get the promotion, to get the networking, the reactions and stuff like that. If you follow a couple YouTube reactors or Twitch or whatever, we'll be sending out some unreleased to the to some of the reactors because they keep their reactions unlisted or whatever. So it's like a one-time listening experience. We do have 19 days to be fair, so it's not like it's it's not like it's gonna stick until the official release. People will figure out if what they got is or what we got is playlist material and stuff like that. But no, I'm very excited. Uh, we've been working on it for most of this year. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, but mostly it's just been us kind of like falling out in the timing part.
yeah.
I had
It's not like it's taken a year to make it. It's just with
life.
life events and derails, it's taken a year. But
Yeah,
hey,
life got in the way. I had to graduate high school and all of that. I had to do all of that stuff. You had to do your own stuff. Um,
yeah,
it, it still worked well because once we were able to like get back into things, and I had the kidney stone thing, so that was a whole fucking that was a whole month and a half of like basically nothing. But once the vocals started pouring in and we had some mixing to do and stuff like that, we went through tens of demos to make sure these parts were perfect here and there. It all just pieced together perfectly, and yeah, I'm very happy because this year I haven't had any projects that I was making like that I was like working on get posted or anything like that. I had the lab notes for her EP, but that was just spontaneous, and a surprise drop, and that took like what, literally just a week. So
happens sometimes.
yeah, but this one I'm glad that in a year where I stepped back a little bit, I was able to get something going, and I'm glad that I chose TripDup to do it because it really gave me a new perspective on I guess how to polish a project.
Yep, yep. And you had really good ideas too, man. Like I think we made it sound really good. I think our switch ups, we play off each other really well. The concepts of it, like we were just like you said, we was thinking, let's just put a project together of random songs we did, maybe a couple new. But as we put it together, it's got a concept. There's a method to the madness, and
Yeah,
yeah, man, it calculates the essence of our brands and just our styles. And I think the listeners really in for a really cool experience.
yeah. Um, that's interesting. You say that. Yeah, like we bounce off of each other. The method to the madness part, obviously, like you know, pull, pulling that name out just randomly. As soon as we actually put it forward, and I was making the cover. As soon as I put it on the cover, and it's kind of like putting a face to a name. I look at that
Yeah,
cover now, and I'm like, holy shit! There really is some kind of method to the madness that over the
yeah,
years we, um, you know, two completely different, I suppose, personalities and characters that we put out. Because obviously, it's easy for us to say like, oh, I'm the mad scientist of rap, or I'm just the court jester in this music industry, or something like that. But to have those worlds kind of collide, um, it, yeah, because obviously we would make the music, we would collaborate on these songs, but when we put forward that there is truly synergy between the two different worlds, it's kind of it's kind of beautiful, you know what I mean? So I hope that the listener at least can feel this sort of synergy, this harmony that we're trying to put out.
yeah. I mean, we all across the board, we got different sides of the different sides of the planet, the globe. We got an age gap, blending two demographics. Uh, we sometimes just like anyone else, probably don't have the same political views, but like we blend and we complement each other, and it makes a whole. And just combined, just kinetic, just it's awesome, bro. Like everything that we do, just I believe everything we do, I'm proud of, and I show off everywhere. And um, when people like, oh, who's this Loopie over here in France? I'm like, dude, check him out over, check it out. And people, I think I get you more fans, just
I
because
mean,
uh,
yeah.
you got a lot going on and a lot of content, and people gravitate towards that. And that's one thing that I've always admired and respect about you is your work ethic. You always got something going, always something going, whether it's a project, whether it be a podcast, um, whether it be your streams, uh, like your live streams. I mean, you're always doing something. And then now, going to college, get engaged. First time I'm seeing you in person, face to face. Congratulate, dude! You're winning, bro. Like you're
Thank you,
doing
man.
really good, and you're forming your life how you should. And I just want to tell you, bro, I see you, and keep it up, and much blessings your way, and just keep going, bro. Serious.
Yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much, honestly. It's true. You know, no one has ever, like, I've had friends kind of just be like, yo, like, congrats in the moment, but I suppose I've never had anybody just like really put it into perspective what's happened over the years and the now. And I've never had the time to, I guess, reflect on all of it, because I do know that as a human being, I've improved despite all the, I guess, the personal problems that are in my life. There's a lot that holds me back from my full potential, and I do know that if there was just this tiny little button that could just make it all go away, I know that um, I could really make it all happen, I suppose. But it's true that even this year was a year that it wasn't time to get loopy, all situated, and all like, because right, fuck, man, you fuck you, man. Why did you have to make me like, oh,
Come on.
like I haven't, man, what the fuck, dude? Like I've never had to like put. Obviously, I've reflected on it a few times, but I've never had to like really just take a step back and be like, holy shit, because it's always just been, only me dealing with it. But when that, like, I've never had it being observed by, like, from a bird's eye view. Trip reference. Sorry.
I love it. You know how
um.
we do.
So yeah, like I know there's a lot to work on myself, but it's true that this year was a year where I needed to figure out myself as a human being. Uh, this was my last year of high school. I was able to, kick that, you know, just kick its ass. I was able to get accepted into college of all fucking places. I'm starting it. I'm in it. Um, and for the first time, no one knows I'm loopy. People are looking at me and
Mm,
taking me at face value, and I get to put forward personal competence, not as a rapper, but as a professional in a world of work, of labor, and professionalism and shit like that, and testing my professionalism. And I guess I'm realizing as I grow older that being loopy really makes me the most unemployable son of a bitch ever. But
no, I
I,
feel that, bro.
at the same time, I'm not really tripped, uh, and I ain't tripped up about it because me the one that, but uh, I'm not tripping on getting to like a new goal as loopy. Obviously, the viewership. I wish I kept the viewership because there was always some memories that I've made that have been amazing. But at the same time, I got everything I wanted out of YouTube. I mean, I got me a fucking, I got me a little piece of metal with my name on it, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Yes, sir.
I was able to, really stretch the network to as far as you and as far as the other people, and even allow us both to get a fucking licensed song with Sean Kingston of all people. I mean,
Bro,
while he's dealing with this fucking fraud situation with his mom or whatever, and we're just like,
the timing,
oh
and
man,
wow, yeah, that
um,
was crazy. Hearing that news and then coming off of our project, I was just like, "Yo, is this happening? Is this for real?" Like,
that's that's funny. You know the artist Papoose?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I don't know him, but I know who you're talking about.
I dropped a song with Papoose, and then about like a month later, he was caught cheating on his wife Remy Ma.
Ah, meh,
So
see, meh, meh.
yeah, but
Dang, boo.
all of this to say, like, obviously I'm not making it about me, but you kind of just said something like right now that, like, holy shit, you know what I mean? No one has ever said this shit to me, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's funny because I was in a situation, you know, back, like, I guess this spring, where I told Liv, yo, I'm not ready to propose to you yet. And I was going to do it. I was totally ready to do it. And then I realized, well, shit, I'm not. Because I'm over here trying to figure out whether I want to work or get into college later on, which is quite far away. And I need to figure it out fast. I need to get my driving figured out because I've, finally got that figured out. Although it's been a bit of a pause recently because of just horrible life events going on. But I still got behind the wheel for a few hours, so whatever. Um,
Nice.
at that point, I hadn't graduated high school, dude. I was nothing in the world. I was genuinely nothing, and I was I was just a bag of anxiety and feeling sorry for myself for not being at the height of my journey, I suppose. And I guess even though I did hit 100K subs on YouTube, the method of going around it, it's not it's not that I went the artificial route. It's just that I paid for promo strategies that were stupid and bogey and short term and
Don't be hard on yourself. We were
yeah,
just trying to find any avenue. We're learning. The world's changing. This industry is changing
absolutely.
every day, every week, and we gotta switch up things and learn new things and keep up with the scene, and especially with our communities. We like so Twitter and X, it changed a lot. Like Twitter, I'll be honest, we had some motion, our communities, and just with the mix up and the sell and everything and the algo switch and this the I believe Twitter had a big part of it, bro. I mean, people are gonna be mad at me for that. I mean, I was a fan of Elon. I mean, still am of his wits and things like that. But man, when the merger of Twitter and switching to X, I think that kind of put some a speed bump in our motion with our communities. It separated us. It put us in different algos. Uh, yeah, dude, don't feel bad for the methods and the ways that you took to try to bring attention to your craft and to your music and your channel because we're learning every day. Like I get emails all the time. Hey, you want to buy so many streams, this and that, and that company looks legit. But then when I'm uploading this EP last night, it'll tell you, please don't submit to playlists, even if you think they're organic or streaming. Because with all the streaming, what they call them, bot farming or
Yeah.
something like that. Like I'm starting in the last year, got awake to that, and I was like, oh man, we're cooked. Like as artists that we, we're just trying to get our stuff out there. We're not trying to swindle anybody. We're just us putting out content. We're leagues ahead of the artist that doesn't have the resources or the tools that we have.
Yeah.
But when we hit a plateau and we just want to grow, sometimes it gets a little frustrating. But then I've been there, Loops. I've been there where I'm like, hey, I'm only at 280 subs. But dang, man, I'm proud of every single one of them because they've stuck around. I haven't, I don't have periods where I'll lose like 10 or 20. I might lose one or two, but I'll gain five. And it's kind of like, I know that even though they don't comment on everything, I can see the likes. I know they're watching it. So
The views as
I'm
well.
feeding someone my content, and someone's enjoying it. And it's cliche, and everyone's like, "Oh, if I could just, get that one solid listener, that'll make all the difference. If I could just change one person's life, or just that is sounds cliche, but we know, me and you, we've got more than one. We've got consistent listeners,
Yeah.
and that's the beautiful thing about it. And Loopy, I've been down, man. Like this year, I had some hard, heavy hitting things happen a couple years ago, but man, think life happens. I work a full time job. I
Yeah.
mean, I still got to pay the bills. I got a kid right now that's a senior working to graduate, and so
Fucking
I
hell.
know that grind. I know that struggle is real, and yeah. Shout out to my daughter, by the way. But yeah, she grinding, bro, and just I used to I used to put the pressure on her, like you better not be sloughing. You better not miss no classes. You like every freshman year, sophomore year, and then come to find out, here she is in senior, and I don't have to be on her at all because she's doing what she knows she needs to do for her. Like she
Yeah.
wants to make me proud, but she's doing it for her,
Yeah.
and that's really what makes me proud. Is and she's doing it, and it's hard. It's hard, but every good thing is hard. Every there's struggles, we overcome them. um but yeah, man, as far as the methods to how we try to grow our platforms or our audience, we're learning. We're
Mm.
not doing anything trying to cheat anyone, or trying to take shortcuts. We're trying to keep up
Yeah.
with the scene and methods that we're watching and learning and that people are advising.
Hmm.
And it could be ill advisory, but our intent is just to get our content out there and bring attention to the content.
Yeah.
Eh, And yeah, we're just doing the best we can, man. I'm pretty happy with what we're doing because there's, like I said, there's people out there that we're sitting in our studios having a conversation. There's people out there that are on a phone and headphones wishing that they you know could have a setup, or be like, before I got on this internet stuff, I had no idea that you could send stems to somebody and collaborate on the internet. I was old school, thinking you had to come to my studio and we have to be in person to collaborate, like
Yeah.
uh we've got all the tools that are but just like we have all the tools accessible, so does the rest of the world. There is a huge oversaturation going on in the music, especially our genre, and we just got to navigate through all that and just keep putting out content and do it for you. Do it because you love to do it. Like
Absolutely.
if you're, don't worry about, like, oh, especially with what's going on next, year or two, or what your plans are, with school and getting married and everything like that. That's priority, bro. And then if you get inspired and you make a song and something happens with it, I mean, even better. And your craft is constantly growing with life experience. That is one thing that I could say I have on you or younger artists, is I got loads of life experience. But so are you, and you're making your own experience with your point of view, like
Hmm.
what you're going on with Loopie going on in 2025. That's your experience,
Yeah.
and I think you're pretty good at uh bringing the listener into your experience and your expression. You've, I can say, in the time that we, like I said, that we've known each other, hey, listeners out there, we're good friends, but we've never actually shook hands in person. I haven't crossed the pond, vice versa.
Yeah.
But I learn from Loopie all the time that I know. Like, you are persistent, you're a heavy hitter. Like you said, we get up from the hits, and right now you're just learn life. That's
Hmm.
all. And that seems like a loaded statement, but if you're a smart dude and you're gonna do fine, and you got your partner now, Liv, she's gonna, be
Yeah.
that rock and support, and you're
Absolutely.
gonna do just fine, man. You're gonna do just fine.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about you, bro.
Hey, well, I appreciate it, man. I don't always
Yeah.
like I don't always get to hear things like that. You know what I mean? Like these are not things that I don't like. It's not that I don't have people to tell me that, like I guess, positive reinforcements because I don't necessarily look for them either. I don't look to have that sort of validation. I just look to have the love and support in the moment. You know what I mean? But I guess to go back to that, I never had a single person recently, anyways, reflect on me as a person, I guess, and all of what we have done and all of what like universe or community that we've been part of. It's just been for me, I guess. It doesn't matter the entourage that I have or had in the past. It's been a bit of a lonely adventure. But what I guess algorithmically broke us up. Well, I say us in a rhetorical way, like uh,
Community.
regarding the community and everything like that was how depressing Twitter has gone. It's not like depressing Twitter has gone, but not only that, but the rise of short form content has been what killed us
Mm.
all because we are the little guys, unfortunately, are people who still want to record videos in the way that they do it. They don't necessarily want to be doing the things that bring up the SEO or bring up the engagement or whatever, things like that. We just want to be able to post the videos and
Mhm.
see what happens. And
Yes.
the research of what goes on in views, analytics, comments, engagement, click through rates, and stuff like that. These are great things for somebody who wants to make YouTube a full time business. And, we all grow to learn these capabilities. Um, the problem with getting budgeting for video editing, which that's, that is a 2010s kind of problem nowadays. Um, building a team, having a manager that oversees your entire journey, the PR team, the editors, the graphics designers, the
Of course.
storyboarders, or the fucking the idea makers and shit like that.
Yep.
There's no longer the you in YouTube anymore because
Right.
it's all been turned into a sort of corporate thing. To be a big YouTuber, it no longer means to be one sole individual. It means to be one entity. And even if you are a shorts creator who bags hundreds of millions of views because some guy's breaking toilets in his backyard for YouTube shorts, you know, I get it, right? But this is what broke us all up because now social media has it's become a chore. It's no longer the cutesy Justine Shane Dawson fucking I'm talking like early days of YouTube. I'm talking like 2000.
Yeah.
Dude, I was okay. I was only a month old when YouTube was created. Okay.
Bro.
January 14th, 2005, I was born. 1 month later, YouTube was created. All right.
Yeah.
YouTube has been part of my life since I was 4 years old. The first YouTube, I remember Annoying Orange. I remember Smosh in its early days. Even if I didn't understand a single thing that was going on, I was there. Um,
Yeah.
there's so many YouTubers, like Jenna Marbles, all of them, like all of the early age YouTube people. I was like, I was 4 years old, but I was like, I want to be a YouTuber. So then
Yeah.
I appeared for the first time on YouTube at 5 years old, and I would give anything just to experience early 2010s YouTube as an adult, as with the knowledge I have now, being part of the evolution. Because not because I would have done things differently or anything like that. I would love to have everything I've ever learned, but just a little earlier. just
Yeah.
to just to experience the rush that every YouTuber in their early 20s, when they started, the rush that they felt, because the fame and the money, that's just a result, right? But I remember a YouTube that didn't even have monetization.
Yeah.
I remember a YouTube where monetization existed, but you didn't even know how to touch that money.
True that. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was nothing set, there wasn't a system set up
No,
for it, and it was
like,
like they didn't even have ads, I don't think, at that time at all. Like on your
yeah.
video, like, hey, buy this vacuum cleaner. What
Yeah, they used to be
they had
the side pillar ads. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
But
it wouldn't just cut the video and skip. They didn't have none of that.
yeah. There was also there was also the concept of making money, but it was like, "Oh, you can make money from your videos." But that's about it. Like it's like you can do it, but just figure it out. And then there was being a YouTube
Yeah.
partner through different networks, like Freedom Network, or uh, there was Broadband TV for some of the bigger YouTubers, and now that's a defunct company that doesn't even exist anymore. It turned into some random bullshit AI thing made by Indians or something. Um, there was
Like on a yeah, I know what you're talking about.
there was there was a networking team that was responsible for either making or buying VidCon, something like that. The VidCon as a thing. I mean, fuck, there was a lot of like, and
Yeah.
dude, what we would give to have Loopie and TripDup, or Loopie and Mike JH, or just no Loopie, but just all of these people, all of us, just exist one generation of YouTube earlier.
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was definitely born into the wrong era, because I would give anything just to, like, if if there was a reset button and we had to start YouTube from zero again, oh man,
Yeah. It'd be
there's
lit.
yeah, there's so much, man, and it was so much, it was much simpler times back then. The
Yep.
the social media of today is much more depressing. I go on, I go on Twitter. It'll be some news about a streamer, or some news about a topic that maybe I would get interested in. Then I look at the comment section and it just be the sloppiest shit ever. Or it would be like, yo, look at this happening in the world, and then you just see it, like, people get shot, and people get their heads chopped off just randomly on YouTube, or yeah, on YouTube a little bit, but on Twitter just randomly. Or you got OnlyFans chicks.
Yeah, dude. And this is what the retention thing is what gets me too, because
Yeah.
like I'll be standing up on my phone, I'll be talking to my wife or whatever, and she'll ask me a question, but now whatever video or post is on my phone for this 3 seconds, I look away and go, what was that? Oh yeah, come back. Now my whole feed is whatever that post is. I didn't click on it. I didn't want to watch it. Or like you said, you see one post and you're like, huh, let me see what this is about. You go to the comments, it's all slop. Well, now that you clicked on that, now your whole feed is that. That's irritating to me, bro. Like the
Yeah.
and with the content, like I would put out more uh like self-made videos. I'd probably go, dude, I haven't gone live once.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, you've never done a live stream, have you?
never haven't gone live on IG, on TikTok. I mean, I don't really TikTok frustrates me a lot. Like I think I don't even have it downloaded on my phone right now, but it takes up so much space and I'm hardly ever on it, and it just seems like
Don't
not much
download
comes with
TikTok.
it.
Don't download TikTok.
Yeah, dude.
You're not missing anything, genuinely.
See? And so like and because I started on Twitter when, in 2019, 2020, kind of really using it for networking and posting content for the brand, I got used to that format and that flow. Now I go to IG when I started using IG, and it was just like, oh, different. Like, okay, so if you if you kind of notice, if you look at my socials, I use Twitter to post thoughts, takes, maybe some promos,
Mm.
jokes, opinions, things like that. I'll use IG for pictures, and that's what I used to use it for. And then all of a sudden you got reels, you can go live, you can do all these. And I'm like, oh man, I don't really. I guess I used to live on X Twitter. What do you call this? Twitter or X, bro?
I call
Let,
it.
let's
I still call it Twitter. I think X is just some bullshit thing, to be honest.
yeah. Yeah, when I'm out in public, people are like, "What's?" Because people that's a thing too. If you notice, especially like you said, you're going to school. People know you as Dylan, not Loopie,
Yeah,
right?
that's what's up.
Yeah. And so if you were like, "Oh, hey, did you see on Twitter?" A lot of people are like, I'm not on Twitter like that." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like they might be on IG, but they're not really on. They're not utilizing the internet like we do. We use it as a tool. They
yeah,
consume it, but it's totally different worlds. And yeah, people like I said, when I was doing Twitter and then IG and then YouTube and then there's community posts on YouTube. Now I'm just like, I'm just gonna post across all of it. And even if people follow me on everything, see the same thing on every platform, that's the chore part, the repetitive, like, oh, I made some good content. I put it out. I'm excited, but now I got to post it to every single social just to hope that 10 people see it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
dude,
and
like
then,
promotion is a full-time job. I mean, I've been doing the Loophole podcast
mhm.
for 5 years, right? And the only issue is viewership because promoting a podcast is a chore in itself. When you want to do more than just like doing a podcast, you know, it, if you want to like have a good viewership on a podcast, that has got to be the only thing you have going on. If you have anything else going on without, wanting to put necessarily any budget or having the following that you have, and even then, bro, at the height, you know, at the height of the Loopie channel, back when I used to do the podcast on the Loopie channel, we'd still get up to 10 viewers, and it's still mediocre for, I guess, a podcast that gets into that life cycle. But to me, I've always addressed that viewership is an issue on this podcast, but I don't care. It's kind of like a place where I dump them some thoughts. I mean, I think if any employer watched an episode of the Loophole Podcast, they would definitely reconsider ever hiring me. But um, I in a way, I kind of don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Because I tend to separate the Loopy thing from the Dylan thing. But to get into more of what you're saying, like you notice like we don't even talk on Twitter anymore. We talk on Instagram, and that's like the easier place to communicate nowadays. Because even then, Twitter DMs changed. It's no longer the same thing it was before. They're even
What do you
experimenting.
mean?
They're even experimenting a new feature on Twitter, which is the chat thing, which
Oh, I've seen that.
it's extremely weird. And it's supposed to be separate to the messages thing, but then again, why do you have messages if you want to change to chat? Very, very weird things. Uh,
Mhm.
and there's just no point. And even consuming Twitter content sucks. And being a Twitter poster is no longer the same anymore. I mean, I remember I started my Twitter account, and this was before I got hacked. I started this like Loopizzle Twitter account because my other account had thousands of tweets that could absolutely get me decimated in a professional world, because I was
Mm.
saying some hella out of pocket shit, even some like just borderline bigotry. No,
I
no,
mean, we all better. It's the world we live in, bro. You know,
yeah,
it's all good.
yeah.
It's
But
hit or miss.
I do think when you become a product of your own environment, you like my whole point of being on Twitter back then was just to piss people off, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. But now it's not the same anymore. I started this new Twitter account, and I remember I got my first 200 followers, and all like without even doing a single thing, not even lifting a finger, I only have 758 tweets on this, and I started it back in March 2024 without lifting a single finger, just not doing anything. I was getting these like OF bots starting to follow me. There was like OF bots, there were gambling bots, crypto starting to follow me. And I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't even,
Yeah.
at that point, I didn't even send everybody my Twitter account. Not everybody knows I'm on this new Twitter account. So I got to like 200 or 300 followers just not doing anything. And I knew I was just tweeting to walls.
Mm.
Like, I was just talking to a brick wall. And I was like, dude, there is no point for me to tweet anymore. Nobody's going to read this shit. I'm not going to be like
Yeah.
tweeting. Like, I used to tweet my thoughts like a lot. And sometimes I do it here and there. But if you notice, like, I don't even be doing it much. Like,
Dude, you're not missing much either, bro. Like that's been kind of my thing too. Is it's
yeah.
like I got the blue check mark, right? You got it too. Some of us, a lot of us do.
No, I
We,
don't.
we see it out there. Well, you used to, didn't you? Like last year
Yeah, I
for a
tried it.
minute.
Yeah, I tried it a little bit. It's just not worth it for me.
It, dude, it made things worse for me, in my opinion. I mean, I think because sure, you can be a reply guy, and if you reply to a bigger account, the only plus side is with the check, it takes you to the top and
Yeah.
gets you impressions. So I have replies that I've got like 3,000, 5,000 impressions. So what is that? How does that help me? I'm trying to figure out. Like I'm trying to understand the Elons or Twitter's um, example of how that helps me as an artist that's verified or has a check mark on Twitter. How does me replying to somebody about something that has nothing to do with my content, how does that help bring people to my channel or my page, I should say? Or it doesn't, because it's like uh I'll get 3,000 impressions on a reply because I'm just replying. I think a joke is funny, or applies to something that I'm going through that week or something. I'm not trying to get a response. I'm just twittering. But then I'll make a good post that I'm like, hey, this is something that my fans will appreciate. This is something that I know that people that follow me, this is right up the alley. 11 impressions. No, views, not even impressions. Views on the view counter. 11. I have 3,500 followers.
Yeah.
So why do I have a blue check mark if before the check mark I can get 150 views, 20 impressions just for saying what up, what up?
Yeah.
But
If
now I got a blue check mark. I'm suppressed, or I don't know what it is. I just don't think they like the music industry on Twitter. Like, oh, you can get political stuff all day long on Twitter. You can get death videos all day long on
oh
Twitter.
fuck
Fight
yeah.
videos all day long on Twitter. Rage baiting videos all day long on Twitter. But you know what I mean. But if you notice, when it comes to real content and especially independent and underground, dude, like the only independent underground rapper I ever see really, and that's because dude's a beast, is Tech Nine. But he's
Yeah.
been around for how long doing the independent thing with Strange, and just he's an independent
Dude, before the
mogul.
streaming
Like,
era. Yeah.
yeah, so he knows what he's doing. He's got a team, like you said. He's got Strange Music. He's established. He knows. Tech knows what he's doing, and he's been doing it. But for some of us other artists that weren't in that scene or got that niche taken care of right away, like it is very hard for us smaller artists. And like I would say up and coming, but like I've been doing this online 6 years, and I'm all my socials are stagnant. Like you saw that thing come out recently, that YouTube admitted that they suppressed and canceled channels during COVID and
Yeah.
2020 and 2021. Right. Well, I know for a fact that when I released my
Vaxilla.
Eminem remix Vaxilla, I got shadow banned and suppressed because I see it in the analytics.
Yeah.
Well, like where, like how can they do that? That's what upsets me is that rules are always changing, and that's very frustrating as a content creator and an artist is the rules are always changing, and then it's always someone's opinion like, oh well, you know, you can't go buy that promo because this person says it's not ethical, and they're like, well, what is anymore? Like, what are we supposed to like? There's no handbook, there's no rule book. I have friends that are A&Rs and are managers, and they're almost to the point where it's like the game has changed so much in the last 10 years. Like they're just like, just do your thing on the internet, bro. You know, like
Yeah.
yeah, it's insane. Like I saw this stuff with Dochi. Like I ain't gonna get too much into that, but like I mean, the system works, if you know what I mean. And us smaller guys, it's like we have to try even harder. We got to go even harder, and that's all we can do. But I'm getting to the point now, especially with this EP, was I was pretty down. And when you hit me up and you're like, "Hey, yo, Trip, I got this idea. What do you think of we link up and do this?" And you started sending me the beats, and it brought me out of a dark place. I had
Oh,
some songs in the vault. Yeah, so I just want to give you some props on that. But I mean, it brought me to a place where I concluded I was just kind of at a place of why am I doing this? I'm 40 something years old. I got my day job. I got my family. I got a kid that's about to graduate high school. I got I got two other kids that are off. They're grown. One's on a mission. I mean, just big things happening. And I'm like, where does this music fit in? And I just started realizing I love it. I love it, bro. I
yeah.
enjoy it. I It brings me peace. It brings me joy. And yeah, at the end of the day, dude, like all these schematics, all these ploys, all these avenues of, you know, I'm getting to the point where I don't care who finds my music. If you find it, I love it. And let me know. Let me know you found my music. I think that's awesome. But I'm not putting out music for that anymore. Like when I first started, it was just really an experiment to because I've seen both pre-internet industry and I've seen internet industry, and I just wanted to see. Let me try some of these things and let's see how the world responds to my lyrics and my flow and cadences and you know just my craft. Let's see how the world perceives it, and I think I'm pretty happy with the perception I received and the journeys and the stories I have and the people I've met, and I'm gonna keep it going. I don't like, we're artists. I don't care if we're 40, 50, 60. Hip hop shouldn't have a age on the genre,
Not at all.
ageism, not at all. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna keep on going, man. I'm gonna still keep doing my life and prioritize what I need to do, and just be that person in the world and just try to bring that person online as opposed to bringing the online stuff into the world. Because, like you were saying, with like the jobs and stuff, right?
Mm.
Got to be careful because one thing I realized too is our phone numbers, right, are connected to our accounts, our IG, our Facebook, whatever it may be. We go into a job. Well, now everyone at your list, it's gonna say, "Hey, did you know so and so's on IG?" Now you got
Yeah.
uh, someone in corporate looking at your IG or Twitter or whatever, and it's like, so we just got to keep the I don't want to say real world. It's all real world. Even online is real, but what I mean, the in walking life, the physical life, different than the online. You know, um, but it is hard. I feel you, bro. It is very hard, especially as you're going into ventures with college and you're meeting new people and
Yeah.
your family's gonna grow. You're gonna have in-laws soon. It's like those
Yeah.
are things we think about, and
Absolutely.
just I totally understand where you're coming from on that.
Well, I'm from a family standpoint, I'm glad that I because there was a moment where none of my family really knew what I was having going on and stuff like that, and it made me feel better for it. And now that they know everything, and even then, I've always been transparent about the Loopy stuff to even the in-law side of the family. Um, I I'm happy they support it, but it's true that I walk, I get into college every day, and I'm in a class. I'm 20. These are people who have just gotten out of high school on a positive, or not positive, sorry, but on a more fluid curve than me, since I obviously had a problem. I dropped out at 16. I started again homeschooled at 18. They just went through the regular school system, the normal way. They haven't seen enough of the world to really understand, um, you know, and know not to mix business with leisure. Um, so it's true that I get into school. I'm pretty anxious about even them figuring out that I would be a rapper. And plus, I'm so cool with I'm so cool with every one of my teachers that I'm always worried that they'll be like, hey teacher, did you know this guy's a rapper? Because at that point I won't hide it, because I know that I've been able to make positive impact on people and communities and certain causes with the Loopy stuff. It's just that when you look at Loopy as a face value project or movement, it's a very, there's a lot of edgy sus shit. Like, you're not going to want somebody up in corporate looking at somebody talking about, you can name it, like any one of my sus bars. I mean, the whole of, the whole of the third song in the EP, if someone listened to that, they'd shit their pants, right? And even then, they would watch this episode of the podcast, they would shit their pants. All that to say, it's a scary world, because obviously I'm not hiding Loopy. I'm putting forward myself into
Mm.
the professional world. And if I was ever asked about it, I think I can I can extract professional and also real life skills that I've learned, communication, uh, I guess in a way, customer service, reachability, things like that, networking, you know, everything that I've learned from doing YouTube, I've been able to apply it into like a real world situation, which is
There
why
you go.
like, public speaking is no issue for me. I'll just talk about whatever. And plus I had to do a lot of fucking public speaking to even graduate high school. That shit sucks to practice for. I have to do one this Wednesday, and I even did two oral speeches just last week. Um, so, but I suppose that when you have these skills, they're not being put forward because it's the content that always is a little scary. It always puts doubt on if people like us are capable of being professionals. I mean, I don't know what your current situation is, but working a full-time job, somebody could figure out that you're triple dub 32, you know what I mean? Or the
Oh, they
trip
do.
dub. Oh, okay, they do. All right, well, fine. I mean, you're less of a
But
problem.
not like I'm known. I'm not like bragging. No, but it's just like I said, it's say someone needs to call me about um uh, say I'm a street sweeper. So let's say they're like, hey, something's malfunctioning on this truck, and they give me a call, a coworker. Well, now their phone's gonna say, hey, so and so's on IG, and then next time I see them, they're like, I didn't know that you rap and make content. So I mean, for the most part, it's been a good, positive experience. But I'm saying, if you interact with people with your phone at work, or school, they're gonna know what we do, and
Yeah,
that's part of being a rapper, bro. Like that's part of
rapper,
that's the
content
backpack we
creator.
carry, dog.
Yeah, it's tough.
you
It's
know,
tough. I mean, dude, it's even like made like I guess IRL situations even more awkward for me because even when I wasn't doing anything like none of that school or stuff like that, I'd go to Wales and I meet a lot of lives, uh, IRL friends, whether it be from like work or school or whatever things like that. I don't necessarily want to like come up to them and be loopy. You know what I mean? Like I just want to be
Mm,
myself. But
yeah.
then but then they learn that I'm loopy, and then it's such a weird the first conversation of like, oh well, then I heard that you are a bit of a star, and I'm like, go fuck yourself. No, okay. Like I love these people, all right. Like yeah, like I you know
Excuse me.
I can never complain, but sometimes having that first conversation where you kind of just got to make it clear that you are the same person before and after you learned that I do all of this. Um, it's always a hard conversation to have. But I remember, I mean, I went on a night out, and I'm not gonna say who, but someone, I guess, someone closer to living the entourage in the night out was like, "Well, I heard that you're a musician and you do all of this stuff," and I'm like, "Yes. What do you make of it?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I think it's really cool," and, and like you see how someone acts when they're excited. They're like, holy shit, it's Loopie, not the Dylan that you've known for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I still
So,
have childhood friends that hit me up and they're like, dude, you're still doing it. And they're like, you've gotten so much better since we were kids. And now they're locked in, like people that
yeah.
I, that were my friends, but just disconnected or whatnot have reconnected through the music, which is awesome. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's got some positive. It's very positive, bro. And that's who you are. You are Loopy Dylan. You are Loopy Loopy. You are Dylan.
Yeah.
But I do understand. You got to have a balance in
I mean,
certain
yeah.
social settings. Just like anywhere else. Like we could swear here, but I'm not gonna go to church and drop the f bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'll hold my head up at church and say, "Yeah, listen to what I'm saying." I was at church this last weekend, for but where I got those pictures from. But I mean, I haven't been for a while with work and everything else. But just any other state, work even depending on who you're around at work, you can't drop an f bomb. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But even if you're all adults, you just got to find that balance.
Well,
Uh,
it's, it's, it's interesting that you say that in regards to even childhood people that, look at you now and they're like, holy shit, you're doing this and that. It's, like, sometimes you don't always want people to be starstruck at the idea that you are anything other than, I guess, the core root of yourself. You know what I mean? What's always more interesting is who you are through your hobbies and who you are through your creativity and stuff like that instead of, you know, being, I guess, the social guy who, you know, is very sociable or I don't know. I'm just yapping, but what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you just want to be known as, if someone's like, oh, this guy, oh yeah, he's really cool. I had that one drink with him, and we talked about life and shit like that. I'd rather I'd rather be known as that guy than to be known as
yeah.
like, yo, did you know this guy was a rapper? Did you know this guy
Mhm.
was a YouTube like? But at the same time,
I hear that. I hear that.
but I'm saying that because this is where I am professionally. But if one day I woke up and my name was the household name, Loopie's on that billboard, Loopie's going to the Tonight Show, Loopie's doing this special appearance from Loopie, he's doing a concert, he's going on tour and shit like that would be amazing, right? But it's not it because I've had my entire teenage years and the start of my adulthood to figure it out. I didn't. So as a result, I'm doing all of this. I'm inserting myself into the professional world. It's kind of like what you're saying. Like sometimes you want your values as a human being to be put forward, not just the, oh, yo, this guy's tripped up,
Mm,
or this guy's loopy,
mm,
you know. But at
yeah,
the same time, you're happy because your work is being recognized in a way. But at the same time, sometimes there's a time and a place.
yeah, yeah. Real talk. And then at the end of the day, like, what are we doing it for? I mean, honestly, I know I've been working with you for a while, Loopy. I know we're trying to grow, we're trying to grind, we're trying to make something of it. But at the end of the day, it's like we're not depending on it. We're not looking at it going down. In 5 years, I better and I need to, and I depend on making a living off my music. You know, we, we I think we got a pretty good level head and grasp. Even you, being like almost half my age, you've got a pretty good level head, a pretty good grasp on where you've been, where you're going, but you've accomplished what you want to accomplish, and you
Yeah,
just got to keep that balance. And but definitely get what you're saying. You want to be remembered for actual personal stuff that make you a good person. You,
yeah,
then maybe what you say. But see, again, I come from a different generation too, where it was like rap. As a rapper, you had to be grotesque. You had to be edgy. You had to push the limits,
yeah,
and especially, growing up on Eminem and huge inspiration. Love that dude. But like when he was coming up and writing things, he was absolutely going for the shock value.
yeah,
And that's what sold. And that's in my opinion, that's like despite his skill and his pen and just the phenomenal aspects behind the craft itself, but like people came for that rawness. They came for what can you believe he said that? Can you believe he said about that person? And in reality, it was all jokes.
yeah,
It was, and it wasn't you're a bigot. You're you can't say this, you can't say that. And now it's getting to the point where it's like you can't even bring somebody up in a joke if that person is perceived poorly in the world, like let's say a political figure or what, like let's say even like today Trump, no matter what your political views are,
hmm,
if if someone that loves them and you hear me say something bad, you're gonna get all up in arms when it's like, hey, you don't know if I, like Trump or not, but you're based on what I say in a song for shock value, or any political figure, or let's say Sean Kingston, right? Some people won't agree with what happened with him, but because we did a song, they're like, "Oh, you're associated. You need to disassociate." That has nothing to do with me
hmm,
or the art.
yeah,
And like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like if I like, for example, in this new song, we're back to the album. What's up with that? Clearly, the listener is gonna know where the first verse is stemming from with all this political action we've had in the last month, right?
yeah,
And I brought up the reference to I had a song called Time's Turning Point. So I kind of tie that in together, but I'm not um I'm not trying to make light of the situation. I'm referencing a real life situation that's going on in the time of us forming these songs.
yeah. I'm gonna stop you right there just a
Artists,
little moment. I'll be right back. I need to go take care of my mom real quick. I'm gonna pause the
yeah, no problem.
podcast real quick.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be back in like 3 5 minutes.
All right, man.
No one can see nothing right here. I don't care if they see or not. It's just let me refill my coffee real quick.
Favorite. And that photographer thought her name was Bunny.
Yeah, that photographer she hired.
It's Bonnie. He called her Bunny, like a bunny rabbit.
And she said, he's like, "You're so pretty. You look like the queen."
I know. She got so happy she's off. Did you see her little hands?
Yeah.
And
He did a good job.
He did a really good job of getting some candids.
He was pretty professional. Oh, yeah.
So cute. He thought Grandma's name was Bunny. I'm like, no, he did not. Well, he was in love with me and Ryan. Maybe he just knew that we were Grandma's favorite, or I was with Grandma's favorite. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he seen us there from the jump, probably. That's why he's probably like that. There's someone important.
I know. I told him about the maker that you got. Shouted you out. He was excited. Showed it to him. Perfect.
Does it look cool with the juice?
Yeah. Well, I didn't put juice in it. I have my coffee right here, but I just was like,
it has red juice in it.
showing him. It did.
Oh,
But I drink it.
oh, I was like, didn't have old juice. It's right there.
I think we'll probably be summing it up here in a minute too.
No, I was watching Oldie But a Goodie last night. Casper. That haunted house. The big ballroom floor where the party is happening.
It's all checkered.
Black and red spiral.
Oh.
I looked up, I don't know why, and I just looked up and I was like,
Well,
babe.
Spiral, Ghost.
Spiral go, and I was like, babe needs a Casper song. Casper, the friendly ghost. Friendliest ghost, you know?
I think it's cool that Spiral has really been, like people are starting to realize the connection to the brand, and just it's all. Me and Loopie were talking about that. Is the different ways we try to market ourselves and brand ourselves. Not everyone's gonna get it. That's all right.
These are wherever they make their little videos. 12 hours.
Oh, I know.
About streaming for 12 hours.
Just those 24-hour streams.
Sleep.
No, we and Loopie were talking about like it takes a team, and it's full. Like it's a lot. People don't understand what goes into everything, and we were talking about how sometimes that makes it difficult because we're content creators. We're like we're rappers. We're lyricists. We want to put our art out there, but there's so many intricate, fine detail things we have to do with our posts, or put the right hashtags, or it's just we were talking about just the struggles of.
Luckily, you guys are smart enough. Do you imagine somebody not as smart as you?
And I feel dumb.
Oh, there are people.
Like I don't know a lot of the technical stuff. I just like to rap, record. Oh, here he is.
Shit.
There we go.
Did I even click on pause? I hope I paused it. I'm back. Hello. All right.
Take that with you.
I'm just gonna. Not really a whole milk type of guy.
Yeah. Stomach.
No, not really. It's just in the taste. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a coffee mate guy myself. I like the French vanilla, Italian sweet cream,
Ooh.
coffee mate creamers. Yeah, I like those.
My mom bought a rather premium coffee machine while I was gone on holiday, and I came back. We couldn't get the damn thing to work. And I was living home for the time I came back. Chilling with Mike for the week, and the whole kidney stone thing. And I was trying to figure out how to get that machine to work, and I couldn't get it working at all till my sister came over today. We got it working finally, and that coffee with the real beans and one of those. I don't know if it's a brand in the U.S. DeLonghi. That's what it is. But
I think I've heard of that. Yeah, we have that here.
Yeah. Them real restaurant grade type coffee machines. They make the real stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
I can't get the hot milk thing to work, but
stainless steel metal, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, the pot that goes in on the top slides in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little tube thing, and it like lets out steam and shit like that. But I get like tiny burns on my hand, because of the tiny.
You got to work for that caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, man. It's yeah, it's quite some work to get them shits working. But I'm glad that this is one of those episodes where we took a little break, which granted I was not even supposed to be taking a little break, but we took a little break. We came back, and we could just be talking about some random shit, man. I think
we did talk more.
I think that's what like gets the whole like authentic vibes coming out like on podcasts. That's what I love when I interview guests. But I could totally like have you coming back on the podcast just on a long term, like here and there, whenever you feel like it, whenever you got nothing else going on.
Sure, I'm down now. I'm getting more comfortable with it and knowing how the system works, and I'm pretty much set up now. But yeah, I'm down anytime, bro.
Yeah,
I want to try to get maybe a better camera, because right now I'm just using my camera on the laptop, and it's kind of grainy, I notice.
You know what? Now I think about it, I think you've been on the laptop mic this whole time.
No way, bro. Let me find out.
Wait. Let
me go.
Tap on your mic right now. Like,
hold up. Oh shit. Hold up. Let me go back. Can you see me?
I can see you just fine. Everything. Oh shit. He left the call. All right. We're gonna pause. Just during this time.
I guess I still need the headphones to hear you, unless I hear it out the laptop.
Yeah, hearing me would be, quite swell. Yeah, get this working. It's fine, Trip. It's fine. Don't even trip. Don't get tripped up about it, Trip. Up.
Yes, sir. But yeah, no, I'm definitely down to come back on the cast, bro, and just chop it up or whatever got going on.
Yeah. Hey,
real talk, dude.
The regular season's gonna start up again as well. NBA.
Yes, sir. I'm stoked.
Excited. Yeah. it's kind of like boring whenever the season's like not up because the end of the season's around like April or May, something like that, and then it's the finals until like what, June or something like that, and then there's nothing
Yep.
for the rest of the year. It's
I mean,
such a
you
backward
got summer
system.
league. Depending on what provider or streamer or however you watch NBA, they usually got summer league, which is pretty
Oh,
exciting because then they showcase all the young talent, the newcomers, the draftees, the rookies, and
dude,
that you
honestly,
kind of get a grasp of that.
I need a better way to watch NBA games because I just be doing it through my betting websites. Because sometimes they be
Yeah.
like, they be like given, they're allowed to stream to you if you have an account in the betting website or if you got balance in the betting website. And I mean, I do have a nice betting app that allows me to change my bet in the middle of the game with no fucking issues at all.
That's
Dude,
dope.
I think it was Bucks versus Pacers. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I think you might know what game it was. Bucks versus Pacers. Pacers was, I had my money on Bucks first off, and Bucks was dominating for the first half, and I was noticing that the Pacers were starting to, pick up a little bit of momentum again. So I was thinking, all right, Giannis is not playing
Oh,
a
this was
good
in the
game.
playoffs. I remember this
I don't know if it
in
was
the
the
playoffs, right?
I don't know if this was the playoffs or I think it might have been before the begin. Like it might have been before the playoffs, but
Halliburton and
yeah, no. Oh yeah, it was definitely in the regular season. Now that I remember,
okay.
um, maybe you might correct me on this, but I changed my bet. It, I think I had like $7 or something like that. No, I had $14 on the Bucks, and then I switched. I changed it to the Pacers money line, and at that point, the Pacers started to lead by double digits. I'm like, okay, easy win. Third quarter, Bucks, they start to pick up a little bit of momentum. They start to pick a bit of momentum. Then fourth quarter, Bucks are leading again. I'm like, holy fuck, this is so fucked up. 30 seconds left. There's like at this point I'm pissed off because it's like 20 seconds left. There's been like 5 timeouts in the last 5 seconds. I'm like, God damn it. And they're losing by 7 now, which is like, it's not even plausible for the Pacers to get back. And then the Pacers, they start clutching it up a little bit. There's another timeout. At this point, the Pacers are trailing by 4, and there's 3 seconds left of the match. And they're at the touch line. Halliburton's passing the ball. I don't know if it was Siakam. Must be. I don't know who it was. He's passing off the ball. Absolute buzzer beater at the end. He scores from the corner. Completely dive in. The foul has been called.
Halliburton, right?
Halliburton scoring
Yeah,
from the corner, the 3-pointer and 1.
I remember that. I think that
Holy.
was like the second round when they eliminated the Bucks, or it was. I don't think it was the game. I don't think it was the elimination game, but I think it was. I thought
They might have been leading or
because I
something
know
like that.
if I remember right, didn't they like wipe out the Bucks like early on, like first or second round?
I
I don't think they went because it was them and the I did it. I forgot, bro.
I cannot remember, but that game was crazy as shit. And Mike is from Indiana, so I was like, holy fuck, dude, your team is going like on some crazy shit. I really wanted the Pacers to win the whole finals just because Halliburton was on some crazy shit. I'm so sad he got injured. But
Mhm.
dude, when that happened, I was like, holy fucking shit. It's Tyrese Halliburton. He's not going to miss a free throw.
Mhm.
And the multiplier on that bet, because, betting works a whole lot different in terms of like how you get your money and shit. I went from $14 to 30. And all of it started from a €5 free bet. So I started,
Wow.
I was doing tiny bets and then I started getting risky a little bit. I was thinking, oh well, it's just free money at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So I got up to the these points betting on Golden State games because I'm a Golden State fan. Steph Curry's the GOAT for me. But dude, holy shit, Halliburton. Wow. I'm just saying, Halliburton, if he didn't get injured when he got injured, I think it was during the finals, or I think he was at the semifinals that he got injured. He hurt his, I think he tore a muscle,
Achilles. Wasn't it his Achilles?
Yeah, it was definitely the Achilles. I remember. I think he did it.
Yeah.
He did it during a game. Yeah, dude, with how close they got to OKC, for most of the series, Halliburton not injured, Pacers would have had it, and I would have been fucking ecstatic. And I think I betted on I think I did bet on the finals, and I was, it was pretty sad. Wait, was it? Wait, hold on. Wait, was it OKC that won?
Yeah.
Or was it the Knicks? I can't even remember. No, the Knicks got. Dude,
no, it was OKC.
It was OKC that won. Yeah, because Gilgeous Alexander got MVP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was the second time I've ever followed NBA, and wow, that was like one of the best playoffs finals that we've had in a while.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. It was very exciting, and those two young teams, man, they deserve it though. They did a lot of rebuilding and rebranding.
Yeah,
that's kind of where we're at with the Jazz, though. We're in our, I think, third year of our rebuild. We just had a rebrand a year or two ago, and so this year we got a really young team. Well, they got a really young team, and I'm excited. I think. I have a feeling the Jazz might make the playoffs this year. Maybe low, but I think they'll maybe get 7th or 8th spot.
I mean, we can't count them out. I remember 2024, the Houston Rockets were having a shit season, and now they bit better. The Raptors were having a fucking stinker the last time, and they got a little bit better. Can't remember if they got in the playoffs. I don't think so, but they were getting there.
No. Not last year, but the year before,
Yeah, but Jazz was they were having a few moments and then they fell out, and then I'm pretty sure that they were really low in the East. Are they Eastern Conference?
West then.
West. Oh yeah, West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got last really good. I mean, as far as Jazz Nation culture, we're usually primed and used to the playoffs. We have that attitude, oh, we've been here before. This is where we're at. But it just seems like since the Stockton and Malone era, when I was a teenager, that was our biggest run, and we just haven't been able to get to that level of playing since. I mean, we're getting faster because the team is getting younger, and I think that's the goal of the rebuild is to build young, solid dudes that that could run a solid transition offense. And it kind of reminds me of the older Lakers. Remember, you said, the documentaries or Showtime. That was a good show. But how he was talking about I need that transition offense. I want the ball to bounce once, pass it down. And so you need a fast team for that. And really they say defense wins championships. Of course, defense always wins, but we got to have a fast offense on that transition. You get those transition points and those breakaway points, fast break points. We need that's, I think, is what turns the tide of a game. And that's just in my opinion recently. The game's sped up a lot more in the last 5 years, I feel.
Well, it's I suppose the NBA has gotten easier as a sport, I guess, because of the youth. Because, you would put Jaylen Brown, put Shea, put Joel Embiid, put, all of these, I guess, newer generations, I'd say even James Harden, put them in the era of Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Let's even go way further back, Wilt Chamberlain. You put, those, newer Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant. You put these type of guys in the older eras, and they do not last a single quarter. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they'll have much possession of the ball because the game was much different back then. I think the game
Mm.
the game got a lot easier now. I feel like Steph Curry kind of got like I feel like he started out like as the sport was starting to change up. I think he's got nearly 2 decades in the game now.
Curry?
Yeah, Curry.
Is that how you said? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, he's seen players come and go and shit like that, and he's been, loyal to the same team the whole way through, right? And I suppose he's well adapted to the environment, even if it's tougher for him now to get wins. I suppose, he's never lost his magic as a player. He is a very smooth and very entertaining player, but I guess maybe certain strategies, I guess he hasn't fully adapted to. But like a team like Utah Jazz, I see it. I kind of have this philosophy with other sports. A team, I don't know how they are on resources financially, and PR and stuff like that. But I think what they need more than just the youth. It's great to build a team on youth because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can create a new GOAT just from farming a lot of youth players and having a good first five, that really can, guard the ball and really make plays. But I feel like they, for once in their lives, because I do look at the transfer windows, they need one big trade. They need they need to risk. And as much as they're building strategy, and I could say this about a bunch of different teams, like I respect the Houston Rockets managed to bag Kevin Durant from the Suns, because they're not necessarily a very entertaining team to watch, but they will learn from the experience that Kevin Durant brings. He was a warrior, goddammit. Like that.
Yeah.
That makes all the fucking difference.
Yeah. And you need that mentor, you need that experienced player on your team. When you have a team full of young guys, you kind of need that one for them to look up to, even if it's not the captain, but you do need that experienced all-star player that can, rub off on the younger guys for sure and set an example or,
Yeah.
be on that ass. Be on that ass.
I mean, I'm struggling to think like maybe they, Joel Embiid has had a very complicated last few years in the NBA. I feel like he has a couple more years in him. It's just that the technicalities have made him retire and shit like that because he wants to be known as, I don't know. Even in the Olympics, he was being a bit confusing.
Joel Embiid, he's from France, right? Or didn't? Yeah,
I don't
I think
even.
so.
No, I thought he was Congolese. Hold up, me.
Didn't he play for he played on the USA
Oh,
team in the Olympics, but I believe France was pretty upset about it.
no, okay.
And I thought
He's Cameroonian and American, but Cameroon is like, I mean, they speak French in Cameroon, but that's about it, really.
would Cameroon players play on the French team Olympics? Are they that close?
Oh, okay. So he does have French nationality. I do see, but
I wasn't sure.
He was born in Cameroon. He's also part American. I don't know where. I mean, Cameroonian people have French people. I mean, the France national team for football or call it soccer. I call it football because I live here and it makes sense to me. Kick a ball with a foot, but it's just a bunch of people coming from Cameroon, Senegal, bunch of Africans, bunch of like outer sea departments, territories, and shit like that, and then they decide to pledge allegiance for France. But I don't know. I found it weird because Joel Embiid didn't represent USA unless if it was for the Olympics. So it kind of felt like he had like this sort of plastic allegiance, which is what I guess that was problematic. But Joel Embiid to Jazz, you know, that that would work. Oh wait, is he still? Oh wait, is he still playing? He's playing for the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck? Last season he was literally retired. What was going on? He was
So
retired.
he's back. He did retire last year?
Yeah, he did retire, but then he's back.
Wow.
This guy
Wow.
confused the shit out of me. Joel Embiid is weird, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good over here. We're good on Embiid.
Really? Yeah. He's problematic, but
we don't Utah don't do good with divas. Right? Like
yeah.
Westbrook has come through Utah. Like Utah has had the rights to Westbrook, and we either trade him or cut him, or what waived him.
Mm.
So and we've had Harden come through, I believe, and waived him during all their Clippers and Houston action. I
Yeah.
could be wrong. Don't quote me on his, but I'm trying to remember. No, we get these big, high profile players, but who else? I think we had Derrick Rose come through
Oh, D
here.
Rose. Yeah.
We had, yeah, but we waived him or traded him, or one of the two, to open up cap space. But like, we just don't do good with the high profile. And I wouldn't say these players have ego. It's just like, I don't know, just Jazz culture. It's hard to explain, but there's definitely a culture to Jazz basketball.
I
I feel like, as a fan, as part of Jazz Nation.
I think a low resource team, because it's all in the sponsorship, it's all in the personalities, the press, the financial stuff. I think if they want to learn from experience, that because I'm looking at these people like, there's Damian Lillard, there's Giannis, there's they're all in their 30s now. If Jokic, for example, wanted to chill out for a bit, because he's doing great for the Nuggets, it's just not getting him results at all.
I mean, they got a championship or two under Jokic, right?
Yeah,
Denver?
I'm just saying, in like the last 2 seasons I've watched of him, it's been rather disastrous, and I think a team like that needs to take a risk on a huge player, because I think it hurts a team of like as big of a scale as the Lakers. I think Luka Doncic hurt the team more joining, because their core issue is not in the team, it's more internally. There's an issue with the Lakers internally that is stopping them from getting good results even in the regular season. And I'm pretty sure they did horrible in the playoffs, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure,
I think they're out first round.
Yeah, they were out first
if they got in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was horrible for the Lakers. I think what hurts a team like the Lakers is adding in, big players like Doncic and teaming them up with fucking LeBron. That is when you clash goats together in a team like that has internal issues. I think you got to start over. I think LeBron needs to retire and maybe put more focus on Doncic, who is a younger talent.
Yeah, he's still young.
And then
I don't think he's even 30 yet.
I'm gonna check.
But he's young though.
Yeah,
he sells a good another.
He's 26. I mean, he didn't even want to join the Lakers. He just spawned in. But if there was more focus in building a team around Doncic instead of trying to like put LeBron's career on life support, I think LeBron just wanted to play for as long as, Bronny got into the main team, and then they got that, father-son team combo, which is wholesome, but it's just a waste of money.
And for listeners out there, like, hey, what's this got to do with the album? Hey, there's some references tucked up in here. Go and listen.
Absolutely.
We have some basketball references
There
up
are
on
some,
this project.
dude.
Yeah.
Your rap name is a basketball reference. You know what I mean? Like, and I never even get to talk NBA because I'm on my second season of watching the NBA. I'm just like observing this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You are right. People ask me about my name and stuff, and they're like, "Where did it come from?" And it originated as Triple Dub because when I played ball when I was younger, I was 32, and so I was like, okay, and I would just it was a lot of the identity. Just when I got a tattoo 32 on my arm, and then so when I was younger, the rap name was Triple Dub or Triple Double, but also 32. Then it was Trey Deuce. Then it was Trey Dub. And then finally, I just started realizing, like, triple duplicate, triple double, tripped up. I like that for a name. I'm taking, but you recognize it, the basketball reference. That's dope.
yeah,
Not a lot
well,
of people catch that. They always think it's centered around like psychedelics or stuff like that. I mean, and it's like I love my psychedelics. I trust me, I'm a fan of all of that, and
well,
it's tied in there too. But it's not just people think, oh, you're psychedelic hip hop. No, no, go listen.
well.
Like
I
it's
mean,
hip hop. It's rap.
we've had conversations about your name before, and I remember you said on ECAS what exactly what you said about the tripped up thing.
Oh,
Um,
forgot I told you.
yeah. I mean, there's also like triple double entendres and stuff like that. You bring up quite a few things
Yeah,
regarding tripped up, which by the way, I think you should get that trademarked. Class 9, Class 41.
yeah.
Look into it.
Yes, thank you, sir.
I'm doing it for Loopie.
See,
10 days until my registration. Cannot wait.
send me that what you just said, that code in a text, so I have it. That
Okay.
4921. Send me that. So I have
Class
been looking into that too.
Yeah, Class 9 and Class 41, it's for music and entertainment. Everything that has to do with selling your personality digitally, that's what you need to like invest in. And it's valid. I don't know how it is in the US, but it's valid 10 years. And for
Okay.
me it costs like $240 to get, but so worth it. I mean, anyways, to I'll get into that later. But
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
but you know, I got into NBA. I got into like betting NBA, and I got to like figure out. I was like, "What the fuck is a double double? Like, are what the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Okay," so I'm searching shit up. Oh, it's a double. It's two of the double digit. It could be points. It could be points and assists. It could be points and rebounds. I'm like, oh, okay. Wait, so points, rebound, assists. That's the three main stats. Triple. Oh,
Ah,
that's why this guy's name is TripDup, and that's why he's triple dub 32. Even though this guy mentioned it like on ECAST 5 years ago, I'm like, oh. So I'm like,
okay.
very silently, I'm like, oh yeah, he is an NBA fan, and oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Like I'm like, oh. So then I completely forget that this guy over here, this tripped up guy, I could be talking basketball with this guy because he is the embodiment of that, but I never explored that universe. You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir.
it got it got super interesting. Um, no, but yeah, it's fun. But yeah,
Yeah, we can talk about it anytime. I love basketball, bro. I geek
yeah,
out. I definitely nerd out
yeah,
to some ball.
yeah.
And back to earlier what we were talking about, real quick. I just want to say, what your thought is? Giannis was a free agent a little while back, and I know it was a long shot, but I low key was thinking, like, man, if we could pull Giannis over here to Utah with that veteran, uh, uh, all star MVP influence,
Yeah,
just that wisdom that's something definitely we could have used. But it's a long shot. But I was hoping, had my fingers crossed, just like let's go. I hope maybe we
I've
could get Giannis,
dude,
but it didn't happen.
I've seen how the transfer window has been going, and I understand that like Utah is now like a bit of a works team.
Yeah.
They need to like. I think any team that is struggling internally needs to obviously start from zero with safe trades that I guess invest into the development more than the recovery. And once they're ready, once they're able to like get all the sponsorship and everything like that, even then bring in a huge personality. You could get one of the fucking, you know, DeMarcus Cousins. You can bring him out of wherever he's playing in fucking Korea. Bring him back and
Mhm.
or the NBA players that have been demoted to G League. You know what I mean? Or fucking
Big three.
Bronny James could play for Utah Jazz. It's a plausible thing. He's not doing good in college football,
Sure.
but it's not
Sure. I think
it's not a it's not a bad development program for him. Once you
right.
accept that you're not going to be in the midfield in the East or Western Conference, and that you're in, the development phase of the team and the rebuilding, Bronny James could be, instead of trying to fill in LeBron's shoes, he could fill in his own shoes. Be
Facts.
be part of a development instead of being part of the glory. Because
Mhm.
you can't be working for the Los Angeles, G League for so long and whatever. Like you gotta, you gotta be able to be part of a certain type of development, especially when you're young. I mean, this guy's what in his early 20s, I think. I mean,
Mhm.
he is older than me by just a bit, I think. Let me check. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
older.
no, yeah. To
I'm
be
older than
focused
him.
on, and I wonder if I don't know how they do it over there in LA, but I wonder if they, did give him, some personal, just for him, attention surrounded by everything going on, or maybe they just let that lie. I don't know.
I don't know. I think, and I don't know. It's the NBA. It's a very cutthroat league, and
Yeah.
even as a sport, I it's funny because I know like bigger scale sports like the European football side of things is more interesting because it's always a clash of multiple leagues. You can always watch a league like the English. There's Premier League in Spain. There's La Liga in France. There's Ligue 1 in the U.S. There's the MLS, and you can always like
Right.
see these leagues clashing each other, but you don't see the NBA often clashing with other leagues. It's not a thing in the U.S. Um, because everyone wants to be part of one league instead of being the best in another league clashing with other leagues. So it's same with
Yeah.
same with the NFL, same with NHL. Because everyone who's in leagues that are like in the UK, for example, I've been to a Cardiff Devils game. They could sometimes be, battling against NHL teams and shit like that. So I don't know if it's a budgeting thing or if it's just that everyone wants to be part of the one league instead of building multiple leagues. But no,
That's a good point. I thought about that, especially here. So, like, we just got a hockey team. The Utah Mammoth was the Utah Hockey Club. I think
mm,
last year was their inaugural year, so we're going our second year, I believe. But before that, we had one main team that everyone would go see, and it was the Utah Grizzlies and their IHL. So that's like the two different leagues, right? But here in Utah, I don't think we have any other basketball leagues except for, like, you got G League, but that's still jazz oriented, or you got the Utah Stars, which, oh yeah, there's the G League or whatnot, but that's still affiliated with the NBA, where it's like, we
mm,
don't have like a U.S. basketball league, or like, how there's the XFL and the NFL, and then they have, different ranges of those stadium football, and they're all different organizations. Here, from what I've noticed, I don't know how it is in other states here in the U.S., but here, just in Utah, we just have the one league.
yeah,
That's your option for basketball, unless you go, college. Let's go watch some college ball. But I mean, as far as professional, just the NBA. So there's no clashing leagues. I don't think it happens much in the U.S. And again, it's not as broad. Soccer's huge, or football. Football is
All
is huge, real around the world.
yeah, all except football, because football, like, um, I mean, it means football. So like, even if somebody
Yeah,
calls it football, but it also brings out like the Brazilian. I mean, football is a English sport, more popularized and more romanticized as a Brazilian art. Because there's also futsal, like the indoor football, where people do
mm,
street skills and stuff like that. And I mean, street football is a dude. You like, obviously, like, Americans will never know the feeling of going out either at night or even during the day, going to like a gym where people are playing football. And I'm talking like, like futsal,
yeah. Soccer.
and people are doing some crazy ass skills, just juggling the ball, just, getting the ball through legs, breaking ankles. Obviously, basketball is beautiful for that, all right, in the US. It's beautiful. I love basketball. But no one in the
There's an art
US,
to soccer and
yeah,
football.
yeah, no one in the US, well, no one born and raised in the US, cuz I'm American, I know what it feels like, but nobody will know how it feels to go to one of those games, and the vibes that are in there, the energy, and even when people are blessed to have the ability to play in these things, cuz I wish I could play in these things. Insanity. Absolute insanity. It,
You play football? Like,
I
did you play it coming up or you're younger? And
younger, I tried to get into a youth club, and I was a bit of a mommy and daddy's boy back when I was 10. So um, much softer than I am now, and unfortunately, the concept of physically testing myself, I was like, this is too hard for me. I don't want to do this anymore. And then, um, I guess not being given a fair shot as well. You know how it is when you try to insert yourself in clubs like these.
it's who
And
you know, what you
now,
know, and this
yeah,
certain leagues. Yeah.
at school coming up, we would play like football during breaks. I was horrible at dribbling the ball. I was only known as the guy who could just like juggle it here and there. I mean, I'm I'm better at juggling the football than playing it, but I've learned, like, before I dropped out of high school, we were playing little matches, and somehow I developed, you know, real playmaking and dribbling and scoring skills. And I was like, damn. And then I dropped out of school, and I haven't played football at all. Um,
Mm.
now I'm just too old, like, to go in my area and try to insert myself in a football team. Impossible. It
They don't have like adult leagues or like rec centers or
they
that you can
poss
sign up.
they possibly could, but teams like that are looking for young experience, and if you don't have any of that, it's impossible. And
Gotcha.
I think if I settled somewhere and had a full-time job and a part-time hobby, and playing football would be that, and plus, even then, it wouldn't be worth it, because if you want to like do football full time, or even just play any sport full time, I mean, getting drafted into the NBA is like about the hardest thing anybody can do in
Oh
America.
yeah.
You know, th- these are, you know, a handful, I mean, anyways, being in the main team is already something, because, you could be in the bench. You are still among the best basketball players to ever touch a ball in the world, because you are sitting on a bench watching five of the best players in the world play the ball game, right? And it's the same with
Hmm.
football. You know, there's a guy who won the French, some guy in the French team who won the World Cup just being in the substitute bench, not even contributing to the game. And obviously, we trolled the guy, but the fact that he was even selected to be in the team, even to be a substitute, still a champion of the world, because he's one of the best players in the world.
He earned it. He put that work in. He's
Yeah,
there. You know.
yeah. it's kind of like, and this is possibly the most beautiful segue I've ever done, but it's kind of like how music works. When we're making music, we could be the one tiny little idea that made a song or an album to the scale of the Eminems, the J. Coles, the Tokens, the Tech Nines, the Hobsons, not really Hobson, but these types of people. One tiny little thought, and you're in the credits of a hit that made millions of
Mm.
dollars. You know what I mean? Kind of like
Yeah.
the Rick Rubin type stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or even
Mhm.
DJ Khaled has literally zero musical involvement, but he has the personality and the network and the budget to just mesh
Yeah.
people together. That,
Yes.
and I don't even like DJ Khaled, but I will give him his roses just for that. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
It's
coming up, no, I wish I had the chance to, play football. I love it. But now in a college, someone just randomly left a ball in the classroom, and we've just been fucking around playing with it, in the road.
There you go.
And it just reminds me of when I was a kid playing football on the road.
There you go. And you enjoy it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a good test of my physicality, I'd say, because I haven't been going to
Mm.
gym in like years.
Yeah. I would play some pickup basketball, just some cardio and just get fit, and exercise. Really, I enjoy it. But as I get older, it's like I probably can't break someone's ankles real quick. But yeah, I try to get out there and do some exercise, and yeah, it's fun. It's a good pastime, stress reliever. Shoot
Yeah,
some hoops, just practice free throws, or But my 3-point shot's getting closer and closer and closer because the older I get, the farther I shoot it, I get this little pain in my arm.
oh yeah,
Nah, I was just getting old, bro. But
getting the yips,
yeah,
fucking
music is just like that. Like you can get that one hit, but it's such a broad range. But like I said, us just having the tools that we have and that we've learned over through experience and like our mixing, our mastering, the way we record, our methods, the way we promote. It's like we are our own teams. And um yeah, dude, it's just that one thing can take off. That's what's interesting about the music industry is you don't know it can happen, like, and you don't know who's watching you, you don't know who's listening, you don't eh, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. Is it's not, so it's not that it's an elite thing. It's just either the music takes off or it don't. But with in this day and age with the algorithms and things, it does kind of make it more difficult for new listeners to find that moment in your song or your project, that if those lists could reach those listeners, they would, probably grow, not probably, but it would definitely attach to the brand. And, oh,
mm,
that's, he likes to talk about this, or, he raps about that, or our sound, or this, that. But if without it reaching the listeners, they're the ones that basically determine our brand. They're the ones that consume our product, and they translate it the way they want to their friends or their coworkers or what. And word of mouth is one of the most powerful tools, but it's hard if there's no word to get to them to spread.
yeah.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a different community, and you know what? Like, there's the pop culture side of hip hop, where there's the the rappers of today that are being played in the radios, but then there's us. And for some reason, dude, our community is built on a basis that no one even knows how we all got together. I mean, we have a bit of an idea. It's kind of funny because I witnessed the beginning of YouTube rap. I saw it with my very own eyes. I watched my favorite YouTubers, the KSIs, the Sidemen, the Quadeca and all of that shit. Like that space randomly, I mean, there was there was Crypt when he did the Everything Wrong with Eminem kill shot and Rap Devil. That's when he started to get recognition, and then he was the guy in the Red Esports team that knew how to rap fast. And he was using
Pause
that.
real quick.
Yep.
Shout out to Crit, by the way. He did actually, I believe, I saw a video of his that he released talking about what we're talking about with the different methods and the algorithms and stuff. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, that dude he has a good video on that. So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to shout that out and know he's got some really good info on that.
Yeah,
What we've been talking about.
absolutely. And I was going to get into it. Crypt obviously knew to make the absolute best out of even being acknowledged by those massive YouTubers, talking 100 million combined subscribers. Managed to get acknowledged by them, even if it was to beef with them for the time there was. He was able to pick up the scraps from the fallout of all of it and even have people come to his side, because there was the breakdowns, there was the fast rapping, there was the challenging. And then he had, I guess, some buddies who, rapped. There was, hate to say it, there was Dax, there was Screw. I mean, there was Quadeca. Quadeca was more so in the community of KSI than of Crypt. But Quadeca, he was making FIFA content. Then he always was a rapper. It's just that it was a side thing, and then now it became this huge thing. And Crypt is, to me, the messiah of this entire YouTube rap space. And even then, there's a secondary community of us. There's PFE, who was not even positioned to be anywhere near the YouTube rap space. He got inserted into it, which is where he has most of his following now. Gatsby came from the whole KSI thing. DK rap artist as well, although he's whatever. That's another conversation to have. There's, and I hate to say it, there was Mad Hatter, there was the Snow Whites, there was the Blindsides, there was the Alpha Tylers, there was the Alpha Bites, all of that. There was the
That's when I came in.
Yeah, there was the Depraved Slasher, there was the Jekylls, there was the Lunatic, there was the Discord. We Scheme started off. He was a tiny little guy just trying to flap his wings. We Scheme.
I like to shout out Jay Wyatt. He's up there.
Jay
he
Wyatt.
was
Jay
DK and them and
JAA. What's his name in something, I can't remember. There was the Nasty Caliber. Wait, he's the one who died, right? Nasty Caliber?
That's Nasty, yeah, with ENC. I remember ENC talking with Nasty Caliber, ENC gang. Yeah, shout out ENC gang, by the way.
Rest in peace, Nasty Caliber. There was Infamous G? No, in something G. There was, what's his name? Fuck. I think it is Infamous G. I can't remember. Oh,
I remember.
Yeah, there. There was King Spider. There was, a lot of these people I named. Well, some of the people I named, I'm not cool with them anymore. I think some of them are, pieces of shit. There was Casual Cheater at some point. I don't know if that's a name that I'm. Yeah. Fuck
Bottom
that.
of the barrel.
Fuck that. Oh yeah. Fuck that.
Remember that?
I mentioned him in Mad Scientist 5. I did, because I was like,
oh yeah.
Did you?
I was gonna give you props on that. I just seen that just yesterday.
Yeah.
Saw you drop that. Congrats. That's what's up.
I fell out with Blindsight, but I think that was mostly because I was wrongly positioned in certain things, and just whatever, really. And I don't think Blindside was ever like interested in like working with me, despite like any efforts I, had in,
No, I feel like I've never had no problems with him either, but I don't feel
yeah,
like he ever really like batted an eye at what we were doing, or which
yeah.
is fine.
I think,
But no, I know what you mean.
I mean, it's impossible for him to bat an eye at anything, but,
Oh, it
uh,
oh man, it's all love, Blindside.
I don't know. Okay, look, I like, I love Blindside. I, I love that
Oh, man.
he was a huge accessory to my early growth. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think he developed a personality that I don't find myself aligned with as an artist or a YouTuber, and his way of uh, organizing a few things was a bit sloppy. I do remember people being deceived by some of his ways of like running ciphers or contests and stuff like that.
Contest.
Yeah, mostly contests. But that's just, you can't hold it against the guy. I mean, I love the guy. But
Yeah, and I'm actually, to bring that up, contest. I've been noticing on Twitter lately too. Some of my favorite artists that I, admire, still admire, but like I said, they're just all doing different things to try to get that music out there. So if an artist we know runs a contest, this is what I've been learning before I get in these contests. But I've been learning that it's just a way to bring more people to the music. Like I think Chris Calico right now has been running contests, and good for him. He's been all independent, going hard. He just came off of a tour, and I'll be honest, I submitted a song for his contest,
mm,
but I just noticed that a lot of artists today that are independent are doing things like that, running a cipher to get submissions to, because I feel like I haven't done it, but just outside looking in, I think that's a good way, I guess, to, if you have so many people trying to get on this said project, you're going to have that more ears checking in on the project,
well,
if that makes sense.
yeah, but at the same time, as great as our tiny little community is and was over the last 6 years that it's been building itself, um, I think there was a lot of harsh, like, a lot of people were partial to one another to the point where we've always been on the wrong end of when people would make contests or ciphers or tournaments and things like that, and it doesn't matter who you're fucking cool with. It doesn't matter who you're on stream with. Look, I think I want to reinsert myself in this community. I feel like I've fallen out from this community ever since I beefed. I think it all started when I beefed with Menace. And I
Oh,
get
I
it.
remember that.
And I get it. I totally get it because everyone is cool with Menace. Not everybody is cool with, what I mean? Not everybody is socially humanitarian in the sense where people really give a shit about like, oh, this guy said kill yourself. Oh, fuck it. Who cares? That.
See, if you have a situation with another artist that you're in the same community with, that clearly, like, if you follow each other or you have interaction, you're aware of each other. In my opinion, I don't care how big that artist is or if he publicly doesn't mess with me. It's free game. And
Mm.
if I, as an artist, or you, as an artist, want to go after that rapper or have a back and forth or whatnot, I know what you're saying, that though most people lean towards him, that doesn't mean, I mean, I can agree with you that they'll look at yours and go, "Oh, well, I don't mess with him because I mess with this person." Well, why can't you just appreciate the culture and the art and the battle? But they'll purposely not bring attention to Loopie because now they know of you, but they're going after someone that they like. And it's like,
Well,
yeah, so you should check it out even more, because you might want to, because you had a real instance with Menace, that a real engagement that went wrong. It wasn't just like you didn't like something he said in a song and you've never had no interaction, and then you're like, and it didn't even have to do with you. Let's say he's just like, I don't like Cool Beans. And you're like, oh, I love Cool Beans. So I'm going to make a whole rap about why you don't like Cool Beans. That's different than you guys having an interaction or a situation and then you speaking on it. And then people purposely not listening to you or shadow banning your work because they're in favor of him. That thing in today's music online culture has become a problem, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I fuck with you hard, Loopy. But if you and Menace went back and forth, I would listen to his stuff. I want to hear what he's got to say about the situation that I'm tuned into.
Yeah.
Rather I'm rooting for you or I want you, you know, whatnot. But I'm still gonna invite it to my ears because I want to get familiar with what's going on as a
Well,
listener.
I've been vocal about things like this before, but never really like I've never put names or linked names to anything like that. But the situation with Menace destroyed a lot of my connections with communities, mainly because I've seen everyone's real personality, and I've mentioned this in a song that I'm going to drop. I don't know when it's going to drop, but obviously it's all love when you're hopping on their stream and being
Mm.
present in the community, and they say all these beautiful nice things to you. They sing you these beautiful serenades, and it feels good. The validation feels good. And then the moment that you work on a big project and you're ready to drop it and it's poof, nobody's there anymore. You know what I mean? I remember when I dropped Shrug, they were they were there for the moments leading up to it. Because they knew that I was on the rise. This was back when I started doing the Elite Batat reactions, and people were starting to see me as a, as a, I guess like, as a hammer, like as an anchor to a community. I was finally starting to build up some presence. People, I mean, I mentioned Crypt, being this whole messiah of the community. It was like, you know,
He's done a lot.
despite the fact that I've never had, a full conversation with him, nor ever had the chance to make a song with him because, he judged that my quality was too, low at the time. He, even despite how big he got, he knew who I was still. And he, like, you know, you walk up to Crypt and you're like, yo, you ever see what Loopie's up to these days? It's like, no, but I know him. I know he, like, and I'm like, what the fuck? But to get back to, I guess, the situation with Menace, it was the first time that I finally challenged the, I challenged someone who appeared to be dangerous in the community. And it put a lot of friendships to the test because I finally saw 100% who they were. And then when I made this huge blunder in my promo game to, the point where I got to this 100K and it was a huge blunder, that also slowed the regain of trust that was in progress. And I mean, I had this whole problem with Mad Hatter, for example, who I was, friends with for a very long time. I judged that the fact that I had issues with Menace because he went after people that I loved, and also said some horrible shit about them. I felt like, there was an attack on me, and then there was me finally speaking out about it, and I got name dropped in a
By all
song.
means,
Like,
you can do that.
yeah, I finally, for the first time, had a huge beef to the point where I finally challenged somebody, and it gave me this personal spice of like, yes, like that's what I needed. You know what I mean? Like I needed to just be this, this problem, because people, I could see when they're on stream, and I could see based on more extensive presence that
I was not being respected in the community. And I think
Oh, dude.
and I think you were seeing it too, and I think you were seeing that you were
Oh,
not being respected in the community.
I've never been in the community,
Yeah.
dog. Like in the early stages, but it's like, nah, dude, there's never been reciprocals. I
Nope.
mean, we've said some names in this earlier on that I mean I could say some things about, but it's like I don't know the other side of it. But yeah, dude, I used to care about the community, and I mean I still do. I'm not rejecting the community. I just stopped trying to please the community
Yeah. Me
because
too.
I don't feel like they're very pleased. They're not looking this way. And it's like I tried because I thought that when we first started out 2019, 2020, it seemed like there was a strong community and it seemed like there was something perceived. And I don't know if just something happened. I don't know if there was a turn of the tide. Or
I
like
don't
I said,
know.
it's just as simple as just the internet, the socials went different algos and separated us or what. But it seems like people who I thought were mutuals apparently, I guess, don't think the same on this end, and that's okay. You know what I mean? But it's like they sure can uh play the part like y'all are mutual and cool, behind closed doors or behind in private, but in public they don't acknowledge, they don't recognize. Like, here's a perfect example. I had a producer. I won't like right now say his name just because I'm in the middle of trying to see what's up with that. But what's up with that? but um, so sent me a link and I checked out some beats and I was like, hey, I really mess with these. Give them lots of love, and we're networking, going back and forth, filling each other out. We're then agree that if I see a beat I like, we're gonna work together. So I did find some beats I like, let them know. I was like, cool, yeah. When you finally finish the song, send it my way and stuff like I gotta like it first. It's like, dude, do you know who TripDup is? Like you're talking about working with me right now. I researched your catalog because I might work with you. Have you researched my catalog? Do you like my content? So if if you need to verify if I like it first, makes me think you're not really familiar with my craft or what I have out there. And so then later, uh, you know, I gave him some love online, like retweeted one of his posts and was like, yeah, dude does got, some fire, whatnot, this and that. Not a single like or whatever. And I just realized I don't when I was years ago I used to worry about that. I think I talked to you about too, like, no, like this. I could tell in the group chat, just like like melodramatic stuff. I was
Yeah.
whatever. I've just come to know that I'm cool with who I'm cool with. I know who I know. I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable in my content. I know people around me like it, and people come to me that like it. That's what's important. And as far as like community goes, hopefully there could be a sense of maybe I can get more of a sense of community if we weren't all separated. Like I said, I don't know if something happened or if there just was never any mutuality there to begin with.
Mm.
I mean, but like I ended up finding out later, like that's the other day I tweeted like, if you're not, I won't rap on your beats if you don't follow me back. So that dude that supposedly wants to work with me, sending me beats, talking about record the song. So I'm gonna go sit in my studio and record a song to your beat. We're gonna collab, but you haven't even followed me back yet, bro. You won't even comment or acknowledge the tweet where I'm showing you love, saying your beats are fire.
Yeah.
That type of stuff right there, where it's like, dude, what are we doing? Like either it's it gets to a point where you think, well, it's not intentional, but you're like, how can it not be? Because we're all doing the same thing, trying to accomplish the same goal and network and collaborate. And it's like we just sometimes people just be out there playing, bro. And it's I don't know. I totally get what you're saying. And with like the community thing, like what happened? It seems like it was going and then all of a sudden boom, like no
Yeah.
one acknowledges anybody. Even if we choose to acknowledge someone that we think we're cool with, it's like where's the not expecting the reciprocal, but out of 10 times not one reciprocal. But yeah, offline we're talking and we're cool. And I get what you're saying. And that stuff I've just kind of learned to not worry about, and especially with this project right now, I'm excited for it. It's the first EP, my first EP. You
Yeah,
have many,
man.
but that right there, just accomplishing that has been a goal of mine. When you start out, it's like reach this many followers, make a music video, make a single, drop this many singles, drop a lyric video. Check off the boxes, and this is definitely one of them. Make an EP, and I'm just so happy. It's with the homie Loopie. I think we work very well together. I think uh, we mesh very well in our songs and our tracks and the messages we're trying to get across. And I believe the listener tunes in. If they're aware of it, you're going to have a good time. You're going to really enjoy it. And please share it. Don't be afraid to share it. Let's get
Yeah.
this community going. Let's start sharing each other's stuff, and let's get people outside of our community aware of it. Like, people need to come together again. And yeah, man, we know our potential. We know what we've done. We know what we can do. We know of the range that we have and the levels we've accomplished. There's we belong here, bro.
Mhm.
And just remember that every day you're putting out new content, there's people out there that wish they could put out content. There's people out
Yeah.
there that wish that they, and just appreciate it, and everything will come as it will. Everything will work out as it's supposed to. But just keep putting out that content of our experiences. And I think this album right here is it's a good shift of where things can go and where they're going. And it's definitely revived me. Like I was saying, in my dark time, it made me realize how much I love this hip hop stuff and how much I love just creating music and writing lyrics. And like the whole TripDup brand is, what can I tell you that's truthful but in a funny way? Like how to have fun with it but get you to tune in. That's TripDup all around. It's just a constant bit of truth and bit and laughs and facts, and it's just a rotation. That's the brand, and that's what I'm trying to push. And I'm so glad that I can incorporate you with that, because you're a big part of my brand. We've done so many things together, and I am excited to do so much more. And I hope there's other people out there that can, be aware of our work and see what we're doing over here, and let's make music, man. Let's make some content. Let's get this going. Like, where one person might be lacking, let's help that person out here. Like, maybe this person don't have the best mixing and mastering, but this guy does. And hey, maybe you need a artwork over here. Like, I know there's people out there doing it, but their circles are so small, and that's good to an extent. But don't act like I'm in your circle and then don't acknowledge publicly,
Mm.
right? And so I
Yeah.
think this project right here, um, I think most people are really gonna, especially people that we've been reaching out to, and uh, people we've been talking to about. I know a lot of people right now already that just insiders that aren't online that are excited for this project. People that I've told vocally that aren't really online, that they're just like, oh wow, no one's heard it yet, but just me talking about it, they're super stoked. And I'm glad I have that face to face connection with them. But yeah, man, I'm really excited about this project, and I really hope that the scene out there sees what we're doing, and
Yeah.
we get people that that even used to rock with us come back and rock whatnot. Like that's the problem too, is when shifts like that, there's no way of knowing why. No one's got the balls to come and be like, this is why.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. And yeah, so I get what you're saying, but I think this project's going to be a good shift, dude. I think it's only 5 songs, but the 4 new songs, the one remastered, sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to H3 Music, by the way, for Mike Tyson beat. He always makes good beats. I think I got a couple of his on the channel too, or even on platforms like the DMX tribute, I believe, is an H3
Yeah.
music.
N- NYFB is a H3 beat.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I don't think they're no. I mean, in terms of our songs together, I don't think there's other H3 beats. Yeah, Mike Tyson and NYFB. That would make sense for the era, anyways. 2020 to 2021. But
While we're
the remastered version of Mike Tyson, is a different verse to the original one. I think you must know that.
Mhm.
But it does talk about the community. I mean, I think
Mhm.
you've heard the lyrics. I mentioned that the disrespect that I've faced, I guess, when I was younger before, because you have to remember, man, like during the height of the whole Loopie thing, I was still a minor, and I was being alienated and antagonized because I was doing all these things as a minor. And I suppose as I was growing older, I had this whole thing. There was always like a partial, like people were partial to seeing me fail in contests and putting distrust in me as, I guess, a bigger name in the community. I remember how poorly ran a lot of the ciphers that we were in as well. I don't know, who ran the underclassman cipher? I'm
So
gonna
if
name
I
I'm gonna name it since it's a defunct
oh,
project.
I think I remember.
There was DK who
Wasn't it? It
supplied.
was Ethic the God. He called himself Ethic,
Yeah.
something like that.
Did he
I
run
think
that?
Jay Wyatt. I think it was between. Oh no! Whoa! No! Let me go back. I believe it was a DK beat that was picked up by Biscuit, and I think Biscuit purchased the beat. Remember, there was that whole shit with Jayburn and the beat getting uploaded. Yeah, all that whole shit, and like that's all water under the bridge and long time ago. But I'm just remembering that actually was how we met. Was that through that cipher? And if I can go back, how you brought up, you're like, "Yeah, I was a minor back then." Is that, dude? I thought you were trolling everybody. I thought when you're like, "Yeah, I'm 14 or whatever" to everybody, I'm
No.
like, "This fool over here is trolling." Until I got to know you, and I was like, "Dude, this fool's really only 15
I
years
mean,
old."
like we didn't meet through the cipher at all by any
No,
means.
but we kind of like connected. We decided to collab because we were wanting to cross promote the cipher
Well,
with Propulsion. I think
not
that was when
really.
we really kind of, wasn't it when we really kind of, or did we work together and then you or I brought each other into the cipher?
I think you might have DM'd me one day, be like, "Yo, you want to be part of the cipher?" Which that's how we, I
Right.
guess started to talk a lot more in
So we already
DMs
did things.
because we,
So
we started talking to each other about how poorly run the cipher was because people couldn't fucking get the whole thing on.
yeah,
But how we met, you commented on one of my videos. You were like, "Hey, can you react to one of my songs?" I was like, "Yeah, shit, why not?" And it was "I'm Not Done." And then a couple of months later, we
mm,
made Propulsion because I wanted to collab with more people, and I didn't know that many other rappers. I was like, "All right, what's up, TripDup? Let's do it." We did Propulsion,
that's right.
and then
Since we did so good on that, I was like, I'm bringing this dude on the cipher.
yeah, that happened, and dude, there was that, and then there was, and I love Jekyll, and this is probably like the fifth time that I'm saying this in Loophole Podcast history. JMP Cypher 2. It's,
Remember that?
obviously it got posted, so, it, finally, despite everything that happened, but the organization of JMP Cypher 2, and I think you were in the Cypher as well.
Oh,
You might have been on,
JMP. I was in a.
I, think,
Oh wait,
I think you might have been on that
was I?
Cypher. I can't remember, but I think I remember talking to you about it. That was organized horribly. I don't blame Jekyll because he didn't know necessarily, but it was a fucking disaster to the point where I was like, I was almost in a cipher. I mean, you'll notice I have not been on a single cipher, not a single cipher over the last 6 years. A lot of our peers in the community have, but me,
Mm.
there was the underclassmen cipher, then there was JMP Cipher 2. But the thing with JMP Cipher 2 was I already sent everything. It's just how badly it ran. I did not want my name connected to it. I was like, you
So
guys,
did it?
like
It-
Blindsight was the one supplying the beat to JMP Cypher 2. It was a like rock hip hop type beat. And there were, I was going to be placed next to some pretty big people, but it was the fact that a lot of people weren't happy with the beat. They wanted a redo of the beat. Then the leadership was getting confused, so then Alphabet joined, and then there was somebody who pulled out because they couldn't get studio time, and then people were against the beat, and then they wanted a new beat made, and then they were like, oh, but this new beat sucks, let's go back to this one. Disaster. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I recorded this whole fucking music video. I recorded this whole thing. I was one of the first people to send my verse. But Jekyll, I can't take this anymore. I'm leaving.
And isn't that how it works? Like you get sold on something. Hey, come join my project. I got this many artists on it, and then you find out you're one of the last artists to jump on it, but you're the first artist to get all your shit submitted. And then it makes you start thinking, dang, what kind of cipher am I in? I feel
it was
that,
a fucking
bro.
disaster. And so much, like, there was a lot of beef coming out of it. And I was going to be placed very well alongside a lot of, like, cool peers. But I just couldn't take it anymore. It was getting too much. I was like, fuck this shit. And, he never held anything against me for doing it. And I think he knew as well for some part that there was some, like, organizational issues with it. But that's because Jekyll's a more practical guy, not a theoretical guy. I've mentioned this with Alphabet on the podcast. He's more of the, I'm just making the music. I don't worry about the social media stuff. But he's trying his best. But I will say it was a disaster. Dude, you see how fast...
Did that...
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, did that ever... What you say what you were going to say, and I was just going to ask the question after the fact, but what were you just going to say right now?
Oh, I was going to say that, I'm wondering if you noticed...
There's never been a thing.
Like, I'm wondering if you noticed how quick the Mad Scientist Cypher was from start to finish as a project.
Because the way you went about it and the way you explained it at the beginning is there was no group chat. There was everyone wanted to be on it, and we submitted our work, and you orchestrated it perfectly, bro. I think that was a good execution.
Not everybody knew it was a cipher as well. I was just like, hey, I just need someone to rap on this beat, and I need them to like send it to me in the next 24 hours. I took a risk with certain people, like you. I think you were one of the later ones to send me the verse, and then there was Mike. Mike is fucking difficult to get a verse out of him sometimes.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, shout out to Mike. He hit me up the other day. I did just a little promo card just to kind of build just a little hype about our announcement today. And so I posted that the first art with the blackboard that was longer with the jester hat and the equation in the back. Anyway, so I just said special announcement tomorrow, and he DMs me and he's like, "Is that AI?" And I just was like, "Well, how are you?" No, I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking because I haven't talked to him for a long time. But I just told him, I took the picture of the blackboard, drew the jester hat, and just had AI do the meticulous equations in the back, And he's like, "Okay, good." And so I was like, all right. So I hearted it, but I was like, "Hey, okay." Like, I don't know if that, like,
he's got this high functional autism. So he's a very peculiar.
Right.
He has a very peculiar personality. He'll say some shit and make himself sound like a total fool. And sometimes I got to be out there. I mean, I met the guy in person. I spent 2 weeks with him. 1 week in London, 1 week in here, and there's been a lot of times where I just had to pull, physically pull him away and be like, "Yo, Mike, you're being an absolute dick. Fucking stop." And
you can't help it.
Yeah, he can't help it, but I also know that he puts up with me being a little tough on him, and he's very appreciative of it. I mean, there's been situations I'm not gonna like name on the podcast because they're private, but
I know.
yeah, sometimes I had to like be like, yo, Mike, fucking behave. I mean,
But you guys were like really close friends that way. Like I have all the whole community. I could say that you and Mike are like me and you work together a lot. But I like when you guys are pretty attached, like as far as the brands, like, and you guys got an EP out and everything like that. And so like,
2
yeah,
albums.
sometimes, yeah, I don't talk to Mike a whole lot, but I like Mike. We did a collaboration before, but I haven't. I had a conversation with Mike, I believe, when we collaborated, and it was a really good conversation. I think we talked for a while, but yeah, it was just funny that I haven't heard from him for a while, which is fine. But then out of nowhere, and then he's like, "Good," and so I was like, "Good. I hope that means you like it," or. But I get he just was just seeing, and maybe he was curious about how like I came across the art. Maybe he wants
Yeah,
to do something similar. Who knows? But
he
yeah, it wasn't a bad interaction at all.
he knows about the EP, so I don't know, like, because
No, I figured.
I think he just has doubts that the cover art would be full AI, which it just wouldn't.
No,
But
we wouldn't do that. Not full AI.
I weaponize AI in many ways, even when it comes to figuring out instrumentation. I use AI. The first time I've used AI was for the "Let You Go" Reclaimed, but that was because the old producer of that song, he's an absolute fuckwad, and he's not worth the effort in remaking the beat or changing it up or whatever. Either way, the whole idea for the beat / the song was my idea in the original "Let You Go." So I was just taking my song back.
Oh, right.
But no, Mike is my guy. Honestly, we're on Stuck in More Traffic. That's the latest project that we have out. Still getting streams, and it's been 2 years, and we're nearing
That's awesome.
we're nearing 1 million streams, which means that there would normally be a third version of the whole Stuck in Traffic saga. So, but seeing how hard it is to get a fucking verse from this guy, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but somehow 1 million streams is happening.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Yeah, you
Thanks.
guys did a good solid project.
Yeah. And
For sure.
we had hard copies. I have one here, and I managed to get it signed by all of my friends in person and Mike JH. So that was a very special moment I hold dear to my heart, and I hope that I could do this again with the next project that I come out with him. It was his idea for the project, so his idea for the project, but I'm still the one on his ass because he's not I guess allotting a lot of time to the project. But anyways, I think I'll have to end it because this is probably the first time in a while where I've had to end an episode because of being limited with time. I gotta wake up in like 7 hours. I got college.
I was
in the
just
morning.
looking at the time.
And
Yeah, for sure.
I could go on like if I was
This is
home.
3 hours, bro. I think
Yeah, if
you did pretty good.
if I was home alone again, and not having to worry about going to college or whatever like that, we could be talking about this for fucking 5 hours. I'd piss off the missus. But
Was this live today, or are you gonna go back, edit it, and take some things?
this was
You got 3 hours worth of content.
this was recorded. The whole thing is going to be posted because there's nothing. I'm very candid with the audience when it comes to the podcast, and I might have name dropped a few people, but I think I'm not necessarily disrespecting them, but at the same time, I know that they can't help
Right.
how they grew, and the disrespect that they have shown towards me in any way, I've seen it over the years. It's just that there has been recent confirmation of it, and I can tell that there's been confirmation, I guess, of the disrespect. And this is how we are present in the community now. And that's just always how it's going to be. But it will never stop us from, I guess, picking up the scraps and building something with what we got, the limited time that we have, the limited resources. And I think legacy is more important than fame, you know, because
Yes, sir.
you could always just make music and then just skedaddle one day. And if you forget to one day leave a legacy on DistroKid and you just skedaddle, all of your music gets gone from the platforms, and then it's like, well, you should have just been there.
Should have just been there. Yep. You got the right mindset, man. And yeah, let's just, cheers to our new project.
Hell
You
yeah.
probably don't have a cup there,
I
but
mean,
cheers, doggy.
I'm all out.
But you need to. I got one sip. But and more music to come. And Mike's gonna get in gear and get you that verse back. And we're just gonna keep putting out music, man, and keep doing what we do and what we love. And with as far as those other names or connections, maybe we don't. Maybe there's a lot of miscommunication, or maybe it is what it is, what we think it to be. But we're not gonna focus on that no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna just be doing what we gotta do, because that could drive an artist crazy worrying about that with the type of things.
Yeah. I'd love to, like, I do sometimes fantasize about the idea of like building a tiny little network, but there's a lot of ego that's attached to it. And sometimes not everyone wants to just be a pawn in a big group, but some sort of like mad scientist publishing type of thing, where it's a bit of a network, it's a bit of a community. It's kind of like some of the stuff that we see today. There's like the fucking I remember the good old days of the Asylum, or now we have True Mob, but True Mob was an absolute fail on my end. There was JMP, there was TTO, there was all these people like that. And sometimes you got to like learn from what didn't work in these environments. And who knows, maybe one day I might just be like, yo, Mad Scientist Publishing. That'd be sick.
That would be sick. And maybe you just touched light on the issue. Is like, that's something that I didn't even think of till just now. Like you said, there are all those different groups, like you said, the True Mobs, the TTOs, the Asylum, or some of the ones that we were introduced to earlier a couple years ago when the community was thriving. And maybe that's just it. Is they're, like I said, their circle's so small, which is fine. But maybe they have an agreement with each other that they only focus on their stuff. And even though we rock with them and they rock with us, because we don't claim that group, maybe that's why there's the disconnect in the non-reciprocals. Could be a possibility. But like I said, if you create one or whatever, like, we could still, or you'd still uplift other artists that you mess with and acknowledge, whether they were a part of your group or not.
Mm. Hold up. Wait. Yeah, no, I totally like understand what you mean.
I don't know.
Like, this community is problematic, and it's not going to allow us to have more of a following than we already have. And I don't know about you, because it's been 6 years since you've been brandished TripDup, but I've been on YouTube for 15 years, man. As many different aliases, many different communities. Many moons ago, I was the internet's punching bag for a moment, because that's how it is when you're a kid, and then you get exposed to a lot of horrible shit as a kid on the internet. You get doxxed, you get booted offline, your family's personal information gets published online just randomly, and stuff like that. And even then, you build connections with different communities, and they come and go or whatever. And that's what I've had for 15 years. And Loopie was the final chance to make something out of YouTube as an entertainer. And I had my entire teenage years to work on them. And I know that if even if I'm not, making it full time, and I had the recipes, I had the cards dealt in front of me to make it a full time gig. Life circumstances made it so that I'm not doing it full time. It didn't work. I got everything I could ever want because I left it all out there. I gave it my fullest. I pushed till I couldn't no more. And life gave me, when I dropped out of school, unlimited free time to polish Loopie and turn it into an investable experience. And it didn't work. And fuck it. You know what I mean? There are things. There are things that you just can't control. And
Exactly.
I had everything laid out in front of me. I could have been one of those rappers who turn into reactors and make $3,000 a month. I could have.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And it would have been easy. And I think I could still do it because I'll drop, once a blue moon, an Ali Batar video, and I'll get 8,000 views in the video and make it look like my 100K YouTube channel is actually a 100K YouTube channel instead of getting 50 views a video like I do. But, I feel retired, man, even though I shouldn't be because I'm 20, man. I feel like I'm 60.
Oh, I feel you.
Dude, I feel like, as a YouTuber, I feel like I've seen everything there is to see about the YouTube space. I feel like I've seen everything there is to see about being an entertainer.
Yes.
15 years is a long time, dude.
Dude, in my little time on YouTube, I've reached that. And also dealing with life and age, I'm like, yeah, I'm exactly, I agree with you, Breck. I've checked all my boxes. I think one more is the full album, but I've talked to you about my plans with that. And then I've checked all my boxes. The rest of this is just bonus. And if I can get some cool experiences and make some new friends or make some new art along the way, and maybe I'm open for it. I'm always going to be open to making music, but it's like, I'm not going to worry about all the swindles I used to, and it was a waste of time and it was a waste of energy. It really was. And people saying it's cliche, but it's like, no, we just let all that go and just focus on the music. And of course, we got to do the promotion side, which is we have fun with it. Let's have fun. Like Mike, I hope you don't mind that it was a AI pick that little the little art thing on there that I made, the little scribble, because as we come out with this rollout, I've got some iconic pictures of mine that are my favorite pictures during my journey that I imported AI robots in as a joke, like they're hanging out with me to promo WWT because I'm clearly taking digs and clowning AI. So I'm going to use some AI in the promo because that's a huge essence of that track. Even though AI wasn't made to use the track, I am very definitely talking about AI.
Yeah.
And, the implications. And so, yeah, I'm just have fun with it. I got to the point where it's just like, yeah, man, all the technical stuff, all the backdoor stuff, all the, politics of things, like just get back to the music, making music, and it's be more fulfilling that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's definitely levels to the experience and the beefs and everything that we could ever have experienced over the last few years. I think what made the community interesting was I remember that one phone call we had many moons ago, just talking about the current situation. You were like, dude, I gotta call you on your phone, man. Like we gotta talk about this real quick. And we had this 2-hour phone call just about random shit that was happening. The fucking, I think it was like the April G shit, the fucking, the stuff, you know what I mean?
Just all the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about dropping everyone's name. It's not like they're ever gonna watch this
I mean, neither.
podcast. But
And there's not even problems with it. It's just we're talking about experiences we had, and it's not even
yeah,
slandering anybody. You know what I
no,
mean? It's just
no. And if they had
it is what
issues,
it is.
fuck it, you know.
Yeah, they had
But
opportunities to have issues before.
but
They acted like they did.
it's funny because we did have like, you know what I mean, like I remember you reached out to me and like we had like we nearly had a couple spats because like I remember you were like I remember you hit me up one day. I was on the bus and you were like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? What's good? I'm like, dude, what the fuck did I do? Like, and then you were like,
And I was checking you
yeah,
about something.
yeah, you were. It's because I had a few moments. I had two occasions where I deleted most of my stuff because I was like dealing with personal shit, and it
Oh,
was like linked to what you were dealing with other people, and then
I
I, I
remember.
rem-
I wasn't checking.
yeah, and well, you know, like it got a little like it got a little tense because like you know you weren't sure what what the whole stance was, and then I deleted first letter. That was also another thing. I was like, oh shit. I kind of remembered how um I guess how you took the discography, you know, preserving the discography no matter what to heart, which that's
Mm.
you know, I guess when you look at it, like when I look at it, it is a selfish thing because, you know, I did have other collaborations and, you know, some people would rather preserve that that part of the discography. But, which is why Mike Tyson got this remaster because there wasn't like, it's just that I half-assed the original version. I always thought that like my my first few tracks with you were just I didn't bring the fullest of myself. Recently
Hey,
and with this EP, I feel like now I have, and now that I've solidified this network that we've created from the constant collaborations over the years, your constant appearances in albums and stuff like that. Now I'm more confident about the whole, you know, Trip and Loopie um collaboration thing because it's true that like sometimes I was like, damn, like Kino's, you know, like what the fuck was I doing? And Mike Tyson and then Propulsion. I think the first time I've been properly happy at a TripDup and Loopie song was Spiral.
that was a good one. Yeah.
NYFB, you know, I don't like it.
Yeah. I was like, when you sent your video of you in your surf shorts, I was like, what? I was like, what's going on?
Oh yeah,
You're all, there's surf shorts. I thought they were boxers. I was like, what are you, Loopie, what are you doing? I was like,
yeah,
and you're all, there's surf shorts. And I was like, what?
they're beach, yeah, they're beach shorts because I was going to the beach
Beach
on the same.
shorts. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Beach shorts.
um,
And
but
then you're even like you're like,
I mean
like, fuck it.
it was the Shrug album,
But that was
so
fun. I know, I'm just teasing. It was fun.
yeah. Yeah,
I'm just teasing.
that one is a little tough to look at even then, but obviously resources were pretty limited as a 16-year-old just living in his bedroom.
Right. But we were still putting out content. Like I said,
Yeah,
even that NYFB video. There's kids out there and adults out there that wish they could do what we do and have the resources we have and to release the content. That even that video, because I know how I felt when I was editing that video. I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. And even our parts combined, it came together perfectly. But
absolutely.
yeah, even then, I I just want you to know, like, I respect you for saying that, and I commend you for, you know, saying, "Hey, I didn't come all the way correct on those 3 sync first songs." And but you
Yeah.
know, now you're like, "Hey, I
I mean, there's
what you've
Cozy
learned,
as
your
well.
experience and your wisdom."
There's Cozy as well.
Yeah, and I like how on uh Propulsion too. Um we named basically every single that we did. And what's funny about that is I was trying to name every single song that you didn't name. And then at the end, I was like, oh, I forgot to say Mike Tyson. I was like, maybe I could put in a one-liner in there about Mike Tyson. Then I was like, duh, Mike Tyson's on the album. So I was like, I don't need to reference it, but that was a
Just
thought
speaks
process
for
that I
itself.
had.
Yeah.
But I was glad that when the listener listens to Propulsion, we shout out every song
Yeah.
or single that we've been on.
Every song, even
You know?
released or unreleased.
Right. Oh yeah, bro. There is a reference. I do remember that. Yeah. And I'm still figuring that out, bro.
Yeah.
And I would probably bring that up, but I don't know what bringing it up would do because I've tried.
I
So
think
I'll have
that's
to put a pin. I'll have to put a pin in that.
I think that's a conversation for another day.
Yes, sir. And I think it's a good point to stop.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think people are gonna really enjoy this album, man. And I hope people that do watch this for 3 hours, thank you. You're much appreciated if you're still here. We're just two dudes trying to make some music, trying to be cool, looking cool, making cool music, dude.
Yeah, man. Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna do the
Yes,
outro.
sir.
Hold on a minute. Just replying back. All right. I want to thank everybody so much for watching, listening to Loophole Podcast. Catch us every single Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. This was a wonderful experience with TripDup. We made it to the 3-hour mark. That is historical. We have not done that in quite a long time. That was, I can't even remember the last time we've done that. Or if I've ever done that. That might have been the longest episode. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Like Joe Rogan numbers.
Yeah. That was a good one. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Fuck Lady Gaga and penis.